We are live. Episode number 8 of Lou Pickney Plays Fire Pro Wrestling World. This is the Steam/PC personal computer version of the game as opposed to the PlayStation 4 version. I own both. If you're going to get one, I strongly recommend the Steam version for the PC for a few reasons, but in particular because of mods. Carlzilla and others have worked on as well, but in particular what Carlzilla has done is nothing short of remarkable, especially since when they would come up with new updates for the game, it would undo this great work he had done. He had to go through and fix it and get it going again. Point being is appreciated everybody involved with the creator wrestlers, the programmers themselves that decided to bring this game forward. One of those that you think at some point be stuck playing Fire Pro returns indefinitely. Within 3 years ago, we get Fire Pro Wrestling World, and it's lived up to the billing, at least for me. I know they had some sort of an abomination of a release a few years back on the Xbox or something, but it's almost non-canon at this point. As much as any sort of video game might have a canon. This game managed to stick true to the wonderful elements of this game that made it fun for 25 plus years for a lot of people. For me, going back to 96 when I first played it. I'd heard about it, but it's much easier now to enjoy than trying to import a game with the menus all in Japanese, where you have to create every wrestler yourself because there is no Steam Workshop, etc. So we're starting tonight the WWF Attitude Era. I know that iteration of JBL is more later, WWE, but close enough, at least for my purposes. So I'll be playing as Christian, taking on Kurt Angle, Eddie Guerrero, JBL, Jeff Hardy, Bubba Ray Dudley, or Bully Ray, depending on who you ask, Perry Saturn, and Shane McMahon. Referee is Charles Robinson. Venue is Tokyo Dome with a Supercard themed ring. Here we go. And with these matches, they're all no disqualification, no countouts, no time limits. They're elimination matches. No first fall wins the match nonsense. The outside there on the left. That shot to the jaw of Perry Saturn. Angle drops Shane McMahon to the belly to back suplex. Body slam on Jeff Hardy by Eddie Guerrero. There's too much to call at this point. By the time you call one move, there'd be 2 or 3 others that would have transpired. They got Angle though unloading on Shane McMahon. Jeff Hardy dressed up like the Blue Man Group as Shane McMahon gets thrown to the outside. Dragon screw leg whip on Eddie Guerrero by Christian. A low blow by Jeff Hardy. Those guys crunched up there in that right corner. I'll hang over here for a second. Nice to know that Christian's circle move to catch somebody off the ropes is a backdrop. A lot more effective than trying to time like a Frankensteiner. Strike exchange. Bubba Ray Dudley, Christian. Perry Saturn looks on from the outside. Shit, man, creeping on me there. Body slam on Eddie Guerrero by Shane McMahon sends Eddie to the floor. Only a 1 count with Jeff Hardy. It's Bubba Ray Dudley and a tombstone pile driver. A tombstone on Eddie. Shane McMahon. Jeff Hardy with a 1 count on Kurt Angle. Hear the applause of the crowd. Fans into it just more than 5 minutes into the match. Spear by Christian on Eddie Guerrero. JBL sends Shane McMahon to the corner, and then Shane counters with a neck break. In the left corner, Christian gets an elbow from Eddie Guerrero. Actually, those fans. JBL gets a heat. Missed my drop kick. Disappointing. On the floor. Eddie went for a tombstone. Had it reversed by Jeff Hardy. Playing as Christian on the right side of the screen at the moment. The black tights with a gold and yellow pattern. Vertical suplex by Shane McMahon on Bubba Ray Dudley, sends Dudley to the floor. Saturn. Christian in the corner. And again, it's Shane McMahon mixing it up with JBL, who escapes on a 2 count. Saturn tries a suplex on Christian. Christian reverses it. Saturn goes to the outside. A senton. Eddie Guerrero. Eddie just got backdropped. A flying cross body press on Kurt Angle. 2 count. Jeff Hardy with a near fall. JBL suplex on Christian. Christian reverses a second suplex attempt by JBL, and JBL falls to the outside. Christian will give chase. Again, no countouts. .9 a near fall. Spear on the outside by Christian on JBL. Angle mixing it up with Bubba Ray Dudley. JBL body slam on the floor, and Christian followed by punches. Christian slams JBL into the barrier and re-enters the ring. Kurt Angle coming in from the other side. Perry Saturn needs some heat. Connects with that suplex, a vertical suplex on Kurt Angle. Throwaway slam by JBL on Kurt Angle. Saturn slams Shane McMahon into Jeff Hardy. Shades of Dusty Rhodes with that elbow there by Bubba Ray Dudley. Jeff Hardy connects off the top on Perry Saturn. Tight that stolen signature maneuver. And Shane McMahon using the Dusty-like elbow on Bubba Ray Dudley after the Okite Yaburi stolen signature maneuver. Standing switch by Jeff Hardy. Elbow by Shane McMahon, and Hardy is sent into Christian. Punch drops JBL. Kurt Angle. Perry Saturn. Bubba Ray Dudley collide. Modified surfboard there. Submission maneuver attempted by Perry Saturn on Christian. And now a vertical suplex. Bubba Ray Dudley sends Christian to the outside. 2.9 really had her first pin of the match. Nobody home with that drop kick off the top. Meanwhile, JBL just got knocked out. So the big bully from Texas, the first one knocked out. A strange backdrop there. It's like Shane hit the ropes and forgot the spot and then ran right into me and got backdropping. Tried to get Perry Saturn with the same move. He got out of the way. Backdrop like Christian. Eddie Guerrero with a cover. Eddie Guerrero's eliminated. Down to 6. Twist of Fate by Matt Hardy. By Shane McMahon, and now there's Christian. A cloverleaf, that Texas cloverleaf-like submission maneuver. There's a roll-up by Hardy on Dudley. And a pinfall. Bubba Ray Dudley eliminated. And a cover on Kurt Angle, 2.9. Saturn nearly had him. Angle escapes. It's a backslide by Shane McMahon on Jeff Hardy. 2 only. Says referee Charles Robinson. Suplex by Kurt Angle. It's Perry Saturn to the floor. Shinlock on Hardy by Christian. Off the top rope, elbow drop. Elbow from Shane McMahon onto Kurt Angle. Shane drops Perry Saturn with 1 punch. Shinlock applied on Christian by Jeff Hardy, but Christian escapes rather quickly. And look at this. By Perry Saturn picked up Angle like he was going to go for an Olympic slam. He's going to do Okai Yaburi. Instead, pinning effort, but broken up quickly. There's a Rana on Christian by Jeff Hardy. Falls up with a senton. And fires Christian into the corner. Christian has to throw Hardy to the outside to get a little bit of respite. Saturn takes down Kurt Angle. A punch by Shane McMahon drops Saturn. Snap suplex on Christian by Jeff Hardy. A pin attempt by Kurt Angle, broken up by Christian at 2. Nearly had a pin on Perry Saturn. And again, pick up by Saturn, this time to a Death Valley driver on Jeff Hardy. Shane McMahon on the apron. Shoulder to the midsection on Perry Saturn. Angle fires Christian into the corner. Standing switch on Perry Saturn by Jeff Hardy. Angle, belly to back suplex on Hardy, rolls to the outside. Christian go up to Hardy. Angle on the outside is it's on the other part of the ring. On the right side there, Shane McMahon sending out Perry Saturn. Action still brisk. With 5 remaining. Saturn, for some reason, ran to the corner turnbuckle. 1 count only. Pin attempt by Shane McMahon. We hear the applause of the crowd here more than 20 minutes into this match. There's a roll through by Jeff Hardy on Kurt Angle. 2 count. 2 only. Angle. 3 count. 2 simultaneous pin attempts, but it was Shane McMahon. His pin attempt counted for 3. Perry Saturn eliminated. We're down to 4. Christian, Jeff Hardy, Kurt Angle, and Shane McMahon. Christian with a chin lock on Angle. A DDT by Shane McMahon on Jeff Hardy. Shane fires Jeff Hardy into Kurt Angle off the ropes. Backdrop. Christian backdrops Shane McMahon into cover. Shane McMahon has been eliminated, and we're down to 3. Kurt Angle and Jeff Hardy both knocked down. They collided with Irish whip. JBL's been laying there knocked out for a long time now. Jeff Hardy throwing Angle to the outside. This Jeff Hardy with a plancha to the outside. Here's Christian coming in. Christian, nobody home. Twist of Fate on the floor by Jeff Hardy on Kurt Angle. Standing Rana by Hardy on Christian. Enzugiri on Christian by Jeff Hardy. Angle beats back a double team attempt by Christian and Hardy. Get back into the ring. Oh, a little taunt over JBL. Oh yeah, sorry pal, hey. Outside the ring, it's Jeff Hardy Kurt Angle. And a dive to the outside that connects. Christian, reckless dive, but right into the body. Kurt Angle didn't see it coming. Angle now plays to the crowd. And a spear. Christian with a spear on Angle. Pin attempt. 2 count. Angle escapes the 2. You hear the cheers of the crowd. Dragon whip by Christian on Jeff Hardy. That's Christian firing Angle off the ropes. Backdrop. A backdrop by Christian. And Kurt Angle not going to try for a pin attempt with Jeff Hardy looming there, ready to break it up. 25 minutes into this match. Twist of Fate. Twist of Fate by Jeff Hardy. He's not good for the cover. He says goes after Christian. Christian, though, reverses that vertical suplex into the right corner. Now Kurt Angle with a quick pin attempt. Only a 1 count. This referee Charles Robinson. Christian with 1 punch drops Jeff Hardy. Exhaustion sets in. And a submission by Jeff Hardy. Angle with that ankle lock. Now Christian's going to go top rope. Frog splash connects. Will this do it? It will. Quite the unexpected ending. So the first match is in the books. So you see JBL, first one out by knockout. They got into a scrap with Joey Styles, perhaps. Eddie Guerrero, Bubba Ray Dudley, Perry Saturn, Shane McMahon, Jeff Hardy, and Kurt Angle. But your winner is Christian. All right. This next match, match number 2 of episode 8 of Lou Plays Fire Pro Wrestling World. I'm going to stay in Japan for this one. The Takafubi City Gym. I'm going to go with the Super Mega Baseball 3 themed ring because that game is just hours away from, I think it's less than 12 hours at this point. That's right now live streaming on Twitch. This series, and again, I'm old enough now where it's like games don't resonate with me all like they used to necessarily, but this series has been one of the wonderful exceptions. Super Mega Baseball. The first one, so much fun. You see the elements of an arcade-style game, but true enough to the true fundamentals of baseball to not be its own weird, side project. And on top of that, just tremendous fun to play. Fun factor like I haven't seen in a game going back to like the 1980s original NES games that those that certain charm to them that some of them had, the really good ones. I'll make sure it's proper red shoes before we get the match officially started. And if there's anyone in particular you'd like to see included in one of these matches, just let me know in chat. I'll do my best. I'll play a show. One half of Roppongi 3K in New Japan Pro Wrestling. This board's a little bit creative or different, or what? Maybe creative. Put myself over my creativity, but it's blue lighting for the fans and a blue floor. And with the way the ring is, with the red apron and the actual canvas mostly covered in green, it actually fits. No, I'm not going to do a Tai Chi. So I'll try not to repeat guys too much, but I can help it. I don't think I've had Chase Owens in a match yet. I can look as opposed to just trying to guess. All right. I've not used Chase yet. Chase Owens is rather underrated. in New Japan Pro Wrestling, where the work rate is just off the charts and the demands very high, Owens is able to find his role within Bullet Club and more than just the guy that takes the falls in some of those multi-man tags. It's just when you're in there with some of the absolute very best in the world, it'd be easy to be a little bit overshadowed by them. But you think about what New Japan gets out of somebody like Chase Owens, and you could have a dozen guys that are similar in skill level and the rest with Owens. Just, hypothetically speaking, you put those 12 in NXT and you know it's not going to happen well for most of them. But if they ever get a fair opportunity, it's going to be fleeting. And that's no knock on Owens. That's how it goes for nearly everybody there. Chase the red pants. And I've noticed this, I think, every time I do one of these live streams, but there are some wrestlers that are in categories where they don't fit. Like Gino Gambino is not in All Japan. I know he's associated with New Japan. There's a lot of English color commentary with Kevin Kelly and that crew. I wasn't going for just a strictly all New Japan Pro Wrestling theme there. Punching around to see what might jump out at me. That grin on Bischoff. It's like the honky tonk man with a grin. It's funny with Eric Bischoff from the WCW versus NWO, whatever the last one of the AKI series before they went over to WWF. But, Bischoff was a playable character in the game. It was like WCW NWO Revenge, I think it was called. I should know this off the top of my head, but it escaped me at the moment. But a buddy of mine said whenever he'd play the game and he plays Bischoff, he was like, we're thinking of it as playing against me. So I'm like, oh great, I'm getting my ass kicked most of the time because the Bischoff is not given the strength of a massive wrestler like you might have facing against him in the game. I see all that and he'll knock me out in a minute here. Random select. Okay, the Warlord. I guess they don't have the Phantom of the Opera look. And they split up Powers of Pain. When the WWF was bringing in the Legion of Doom. I guess you really couldn't have the Powers of Pain and Demolition and LOD. And I imagine it's also why Warlord and Barbarian, when they got slightly repackaged there in kind of early 1990, that they gave the ridiculous Phantom of the Opera mask to Warlord. But and Warlord as a singles wrestler, I don't think was a very good idea. Just because he had the size, he had the look, but not necessarily the in-ring to go with it. But I mean, it was the early 90s / going back to the late 80s, so he certainly had the size. But less than 6'7", 343. That's probably not that far off from the truth. Maybe the 343 is a little high, but he's a big guy. Let's see. I don't know that I've ever used this Sam Houston Creator Wrestler. It's not downloaded. Okay, I've used an Adrian Adonis before. I thought I had, but I'm going to check for sure. I that it would matter that much if I used him again, but Boss Man I've used not too long ago. I was talking about Outback Jack the other night, but I don't think I actually played as him. This is an unusual mix here, and it's even more unusual. I don't think I've had Abdullah the Butcher in there. I don't remember offhand if I've used Rocky Marciano before. Nope, have not. We'll go with the later in his career version of Tiger Hattori. And the settings I've had basically the same for the most part with this series. I started originally with the CPU level at 8, because that's normally what I like to play as if I'm just playing against the computer. But in a match like this, because you can back off and let the other two fight, it led to me winning too much. I like to win, don't get me wrong. I hate losing worse, but by the same token, it's not any fun to have. So if I just win every time, what fun is that? So see the rules there: no countouts, no disqualifications, no rope breaks, and no time limit. We go until there's one winner and one only. Playing as Sho for this match. Sho Tanaka. Member of the Chaos stable in New Japan Pro Wrestling. Alright. I'll be playing as Sho, taking on Chase Owens, Eric Bischoff, the Warlord, Sam Houston, Outback Jack, Abdullah the Butcher, and Rocky Marciano. Referee Tiger Hattori. The venue is the Takafumi City Gym. And the ring is the Super Mega Baseball 3 themed ring. Here we go. And while it says Battle Royal for this particular listing, of course, it's just an elimination match. You can set it for over the top rope, but I've already complained about that before as far as that doesn't work out so well. Now look at this, the background of the blue floor and the blue lighting, a little different. Sam Houston gets knocked to the outside almost immediately. See, almost immediately, Abdullah the Butcher breaks out a fork. And no less than Rocky Marciano's, it's Chase Owens and Eric Bischoff in the corner. Owens gets the better of it. Fans are into it early. Outback Jack takes down Rocky Marciano, only in Fire Pro. Abby and the Warlord team up to double suplex Sam Houston out of the ring. I don't really need to team up on that one, but it worked. Houston with a body slam and then Sho to the outside. Eric Bischoff with a chop on Abdullah the Butcher. You might want to rethink that, but he's got his karate skills in full effect. As it'll be Bischoff and Abby with a spiked powerbomb on Sam Houston. Headbutt by Outback Jack on the Warlord. Three-punch combo by Rocky Marciano on the crown jewel himself, Chase Owens. Ankle lock on the Warlord by Outback Jack. Sam Houston is going to try and suplex Abdullah the Butcher. Would have been inadvisable move, but it didn't happen. Chase Owens sends Rocky Marciano to the outside with a suplex. Whenever you've got a boxer in one of these matches, you've got to watch out for the possibility of a flash knockout. Yeah, Super Mega Baseball. We're less than 12 hours away from it. I think it drops. I think it's 9 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow. So West Coast U.S., 11 a.m. Nashville time, Central Daylight that I'm on. And so on and so forth. Abdullah sent to the corner by Chase Owens. Meanwhile, it's Show throwing Outback Jack to the outside. I don't know how it'll be. I'm going to try some live streaming tomorrow with Super Mega Baseball when that game comes out. I'm kind of buying it for, I've got the first two on the PlayStation 3/PlayStation 4. But they've taken already great series and added a lot of things without asking me. It's just things that in my head was like, great, they would add this to the series. And they did it with so much stuff, so it should be really good. Fun to try out as Abdullah the Butcher with a fork busts open Outback Jack. Biting. Abby biting on Sam Houston, and Sam Houston also sporting the Crimson Mask. Right, got him busted open there, Abby. Instead, going to inflict more damage with that fork. Close on an Eric Bischoff by Chase Owens, who walks in a chin lock. Abdullah chomping away on Sam Houston. Show the body slam on Sam Houston. Rocky Marciano doing better of Outback Jack. Is Zack Ryder doing a run-in? What was that? Reversal by Sam Houston, taking in Chase Owens, a sleeper. Side headlock slash sleeper there. The Warlord showing off his technical prowess against Outback Jack. Who knew? The Show misses on a spear attempt. Eric Bischoff kicks on Rocky Marciano and a knee lift on Abdullah the Butcher. Show fires Bischoff across the ring to that left corner. Bischoff fighting his way out of it. Warlord takes down Sam Houston. Sam Houston gets that glowing blood. Looks like one of those like Doppler radars or something. We got severe weather in the area. I thought the other night, I think Warlord was going for a pump handle slam there. I think it was Harley Race where it was like this inordinate amount of blood and then disappeared because there's something weird going on with the whole blood stains. That you have to have that running to get the mods to work. It seems to cause some problems as far as the way the computer handles blood within a match. A small price to pay to have the great mods that are available in this game. Eric Bischoff fights off a double team attempt by the Warlord and Show. Marciano picks up, and you see the blood disappeared from Sam Houston. Fallaway slam by Abby and Rocky Marciano. Sam Houston lock, Abdullah the Butcher into a headlock. Cover on the Warlord. 2 count for Eric Bischoff. Going to get the pin on the Warlord. Armbar. The shooter. Sho Tanaka. Left for right arm. Well, thanks for the hosting and NWA. Appreciate it. Playing her Show. More than 12 minutes into the match, no eliminations yet. Kind of surprising even a boxer in there. A lot of times we get flash knockout early. At least one person. Outback Jack unloads on Sam Houston. Look at the strength on Show. Throwing the Warlord to the outside. Warlord dazed, and a tope con hilo connects as Show dives to the outside. Rocky Marciano, a pair of punches that drops Outback Jack. A foolish move by Sam Houston trying to suplex Abdullah the Butcher. Got what he deserved. Abby reversed him. Gotta work on your strengths there, buddy. Although Sam Houston does a body slam of a 300-pound Outback Jack just to show me what he can do. I would suggest it's a mistake for Outback Jack to be playing Marciano's game. They're trying to exchange punches. It's a battle of big men with the Warlord and Abdullah the Butcher. Outback Jack with a bear hug of Rocky Marciano. Bischoff sends Chase Owens for the ride, and Show drops with a kick. Shoulder tackle by Abdullah the Butcher on the Warlord. DDT. Owens for the DDT. Boos for the crowd. Looks like you had Eric Bischoff and Rocky Marciano exchanging MMA spots. The power of a video game as you got Warlord flying in off the near side of the ring when I was looking over what Bischoff was doing. Sam Houston stalling outside the ring. Can't say I blame him. Oh, made a mistake though. Show trying for a plancha and suckered in by Sam Houston. Outback Jack playing to the crowd. This is a clothesline on Bischoff. Bischoff throws Outback Jack to the outside. And a tope con heel that misses. Trying to move on. Bischoff instead of flew to the outside with Show. Nobody home. And a backbreaker outside the ring by Outback Jack on Show. As the Warlord plays to the crowd. Warlord hits the ropes. Clothesline on Chase Owens. Sam Houston takes down Rocky Marciano. And a bulldog by Houston. And a cover on Rocky Marciano. 2 count. A pair of back elbows from Marciano. No gloves on those. Smart move to send Warlord off the ropes. Wear the big man down. Bischoff stomping on Chase Owens. Rocky Marciano 3 punches to the gut in succession. On Houston, a pair of straight arm punches that dropped him. Bischoff takes down Warlord. Bischoff with a headlock on Rocky Marciano. Sleeper hold applied on Outback Jack by Chase Owens. It's the Warlord now. And Abby biting on Show. Abdullah the Butcher. He's busted open. Show. Hard white juice. Unpleasant. Sorry, Super Mega Baseball 3 for getting blood all over your logo. And that's disrespect. We got submission. The Warlord. The bear hug. Outback Jack to submit. First submission, the first elimination. Nearly 20 minutes into the match. Cover. 2.9 on near fall. The ring announcer. That's the 20-minute mark of the match. Now it's really starting to pick up. Strike exchange. Houston and Show. Chase Owens drops Bischoff. Abdullah the Butcher looks for somebody to hit, finds Bischoff and drops him with a punch. The Warlord celebrates. He's fired up tonight. Version was neutralized there on the Warlord by Houston. Chase Owens, Gotch-style pile driver on Eric Bischoff. Now Show will go for the cover on Bischoff. A 2 count. A slow count, in my opinion, there by referee Tiger Hattori. Samoan drop. Abdullah the Butcher on Show and a cover. They got pinned. Show to knock it out. They're down to 6. Abdullah the Butcher, Sam Houston, the Warlord, Rocky Marciano, Eric Bischoff, and Chase Owens. Spin kick by Bischoff, and there's a knockout. Chase Owens just got knocked out by Rocky Marciano. And down to 5. Abdullah the Butcher has a light tube. Cover on Bischoff by Sam Houston. 2 only. Body slam. And now Bischoff's feeling the teeth of Abdullah the Butcher against his forehead. Abby chomping away on Bischoff. And now they team up to spike powerbomb Sam Houston. Enzugiri by Bischoff on Houston. Rocky Marciano with flurry of punches there. And the Warlord. Uppercuts aplenty from Marciano on Bischoff. As Sam Houston tries to figure out what he's going to do. With much larger Abdullah the Butcher to straight to Sam Houston to flip over Abby. Abdullah the Butcher goes right to the eyes. Through trouble on the apron. Sam Houston punches Abby, who falls back into the ring. Marciano unloading uppercuts on Bischoff. Now pin attempt by Abdullah. For 1 count only. Critical. Bischoff just got knocked out. Suplex. And Marciano by Abdullah the Butcher. We see Rocky Marciano dazed outside the ring. We're down to 4 remaining in this match. Sam Houston and Abdullah the Butcher just collided there. Rocky Marciano in the boxing gloves. And the Warlord with a strange haircut and the face paint. There's a bulldog. A bulldog by Sam Houston on Abdullah the Butcher. 2 only. The near fall. Belly to back suplex by Houston. And Abdullah the Butcher. Warlord fires Marciano to the ropes, and he just grabs hold as opposed to trying to run back. To conserve energy at this point of the match. A swing of that light tube by Abdullah the Butcher. Sam Houston's fired up. He's into the final 4. The Warlord and Abdullah the Butcher collide. You do not want to find yourself on the other end of a punching flurry there by Rocky Marciano. The strength of the Warlord, that military press, is dropping Sam Houston to the mat. A curious decision there by the Warlord not to follow up with Houston. Look at this though, Sam Houston handling himself against Rocky Marciano. And now the Warlord being bitten by Abdullah the Butcher. Like an apple being chewed on. So Marciano trying to figure out his next course of action there. He'll try and get to a wrestling grapple if he can help it. That's not his game. So Warlord works on the left shoulder of Abdullah the Butcher. A pair of punches to the back of the head of the Warlord by Marciano. Abdullah swings the light tube. The boos of the crowd as Abdullah the Butcher agitates the fans. Eric Bischoff laying there knocked out. Somehow that light tube got underneath Bischoff. And was promptly retrieved by Abdullah the Butcher. Marciano with kicks. Who knew? Beating back the Warlord. And Sam Houston. Now it's rough landing there for Houston after the knee to the stomach by the Warlord. Marciano's up to the left corner. Warlord gets the better. Abdullah the Butcher, and again, that military press on Sam Houston. By the Warlord, you heard that ring announcer. That's the 30-minute mark of the match. Warlord, side bicep pose. Thrust kick by Abdullah the Butcher. And Rocky Marciano did not expect that. I'll tell you, he's not seeing that one coming. Running shoulder block by Houston on Abdullah the Butcher. Bear hug. Warlord with a bear hug on Rocky Marciano. Rocky Marciano escapes. And Marciano fired up. A fighting spirit. Just unloading on the Warlord. Sam Houston, the underdog, trying to play to the crowd, taking on the much larger Abdullah the Butcher. Only 4 remain in this match. We started with 8. Again, Abdullah with that light tube. Bulldog. And again, Sam Houston trying to get the fans fired up behind him. And a smart move by Houston, targeting the right knee there of the Warlord. As a larger opponent put yourself at a great advantage when you take one of his wheels out. Fatigue setting in. Pair of punches. And the Warlord by Marciano, the fork. Abdullah the Butcher stabbing repeatedly Sam Houston to the head. And the boos of the crowd did not appreciate the antics there of Abdullah the Butcher. The strength of the Warlord on display. Again, back elbows. Not what you think of from a boxing legend, but Marciano showing some versatility. Samoan drop from Marciano by Abdullah the Butcher. And again, the strength of Houston to flip over Abby like that. As the Warlord with the elbow to Marciano. Vertical suplex by Abdullah the Butcher sends Sam Houston to the floor. Now that fork. Stabbing into the head repeatedly of the Warlord. Pair of punches from Marciano drops the Warlord. Abby fired to the far corner. Houston with a pair of punches that drops Marciano. Well, shots to the head of Marciano by the Warlord. Looks like a neutralizer, like the Cesaro move. Only a Sam Houston doing it against the massive Warlord. Warlord, give you a look at those biceps. Marciano and the Warlord team up to take down Abdullah the Butcher. Again, the strength of Sam Houston. The Warlord is a large man. He gets flipped over. Even larger man flipped over there. Abby. Marciano drops the Warlord. The light tube. Abdullah keeps teasing that light tube. Straight to the Warlord again. Military press on Sam Houston. Just drops him to the mat. Houston misses a clothesline attempt on Rocky Marciano. Marciano will see if he can punch him to the face until he gives up. The Warlord finally put a stop to it. Sam Houston, he might not win this match, but he has shown a tremendous amount of heart. It's like a side chokehold there. We got a submission. Sam Houston fired up. Rocky Marciano is out. We're down to 3. Sam Houston, the Warlord, and Abdullah the Butcher. Eric Bischoff knocked out. Got Chase Owens knocked out there in the ring. Got a light tube. Strike exchange. Abdullah the Butcher and Sam Houston. So the Warlord's trying to get some air. A rare break. And a sit-out pile driver. Set up pile driver on the Warlord by Abdullah the Butcher. And that was Sam Houston on the apron. Houston decking Abdullah the Butcher, knocking him down back into the ring. The Warlord beats back a double team. Warlord picks up Houston by his hair. And again, just dropping Houston. Stomach first into his knee and slamming him over. That's about close to a half dozen times he's done that in this match. Again, the strength. Houston, vertical suplex. The Warlord falls to the floor. Houston, Abdullah the Butcher, the Warlord, the last 2 remaining. We passed the 40-minute mark of the match. Body slam by Abdullah the Butcher sends Houston to the outside. No time limit, no countouts, no disqualifications. Abdullah, the ring announcer, looks the crowd to be aware. There's fighting going on there right in front of them. Vertical suplex and that hard landing on the floor, that unforgiving wood floor. Sam Houston. Houston plays to the crowd, but firing a much larger Abdullah the Butcher into the barricade. And a cocky pin attempt by the Warlord, and it succeeds. Sam Houston eliminated. Kid showed some heart. Made the final 3, but he's out. And now, a light tube by Abdullah the Butcher over the head of the Warlord. Now the fork again. The Warlord submits to being stabbed in the head repeatedly with a fork. I like the way Abdullah begs off after that. Abby sitting in that far corner by the Warlord with a stun gun. A stun gun by the Warlord. All that force of Abdullah. And his neck first on that top rope. For the win. So the Warlord gets the victory. One boot on the chest on both Sam Houston, which is one thing, but then Abdullah the Butcher to get the win. It's quite the battle there. Sam Houston hanging in there. Some much larger opponents. Well past 40 minutes before he was eliminated. And ultimately, though, your winner is the Warlord. Okay. Make a note here, use the Takafubi City Gem. And then I'm sure there's a way I can make it where you can see the little note, this little notepad thing I've got on the screen here that you can't see. Just keeping track of who I've used and other options that remain as far as venues go. We'll go with Full Sail University Arena. With the Loveless Cafe. The Loveless Cafe is a, as you might imagine, a cafe, a restaurant, eatery in Nashville that is world-renowned for its, what do we call them, concerts, like the round tables they have. Look at these 4 musicians in the room, and everybody else in there just watching. Not a huge place either, but it's a very intimate setting. And you've got these songwriters and talented musicians that live here in Nashville. I grew up here, so to me it's just that's part of the industry here. So you've got these famous multi-millionaire superstars, but like I'll go and call a football game on a Friday night, and although win an F for 2020, right? But in the old days, pre-2020, go there and hear so-and-so. Between Nashville having the Titans, you got a lot of like college coaches, pro coaches that show up at these games that watch my broadcast, so I try not to screw up too bad for them. Anyway, I'll get on a sidebar there about Nashville and music and celebrity and whatnot, but Loveless, I was thinking of the Bluebird Cafe. Oh, that's embarrassing. The Loveless Cafe is very different. Wow, botched that one. Don't worry, we'll cut that out later. Of course, never cut it out. Now, the Loveless Cafe, I was thinking of the Bluebird Cafe. Loveless Cafe is in West Nashville. It's been there forever. It's a place that's well known for very much just Southern style cooking. So like country ham, that sort of thing. I don't know what a 5-minute sidebar about the Bluebird Cafe when I'm staring down Loveless, but that's what I did. All right, let's see. Not sure yet who will use as referee, so for now I'll plug in Sonny Fargo from Starcade 85 with the yellow outfit. 2 things I like about that Sonny Fargo. 1, he doesn't count very fast. And since you can't edit the referees for anything, at least since 2.0 came along, I'd be stuck with it either way, so I'm glad he doesn't fast count. On top of that yellow, I love the contrast with a lot of ring designs and arena layouts that I've put together. If there's anyone in particular that any of y'all would like to see, just let me know, and I'll do my best to work them into it. I can't remember if I used Tommy Rich the other day or not. I used Tommy Rogers, but not Tommy Rich. Former NWA World Champion Tommy Rich. It was funny, I just by chance was watching a video of Tommy Rich's NWA World Championship win over Harley Race. And it was shot with camera by somebody at ringside that clearly it wasn't like a fan cam, but it was like somebody there that was recording it. And they dubbed in the crowd noise. And it made me think about the difficulty that it is when you have a live pro wrestling show and you've got an empty building. Without any crowd heat, it's very difficult to gauge what the audience is into or not into. And on top of that, especially with like the long, boring, scripted stuff that WWE puts out there, and you like have things ready to pause for the fan reaction, which may or may not ever come, but you still have to pause for it either way because that company loves its micromanage. Tommy Rich, a new Sid, Joey Maggs, maybe later. And that's Carney for no. Okay, Paul Roma. That's Power and Glory gear there. It was unfortunate for Roma. He came along at a time if you're 5'11", that just wasn't going to cut it if you're going to be a upper tier WWF superstar. Now, I'll use Juice Robinson, but there's a much better one than this one. That's an early incarnation. This one actually has his face on it there. Although the whole thing where he cut his hair, and I don't know what he was thinking. It was like his gimmick was like he wore like pajama pants or something. Like he was Teddy Hart. Without the cats and the felony indictments. But I actually like that look that he had when he had the dreads and then like the almost looks like the 4th of July in the United States kind of look there, patriotic thing. And I don't know that's even what he's going for there, but let me think of it. So we'll go with that. Giant Bernard. Although I think it was in one of the ones I had, because talking about him being Prince Albert before. Okay, yeah, I did that just the other day, so we'll have to. Of course, I don't have to. I can put him in there if I wanted to, but just I've got thousands of wrestlers I can choose from. I need to repeat so soon. Just had show. Elgin. I'll use Elgin, but there's a better version. That one. That's like late New Japan run Elgin when he got really like in good shape. I mean, he's always muscular and strong, but he was able to slim it down a bit, and he still had the same power. I wonder if they didn't carry the face over this last one there. If you want to see the difference between like the downloadable content and what you can do without it and how there are more limitations, there's your difference. And again, anytime I make a reference about these creator wrestlers and any deficiencies that might exist in them, and this is with the realization that it's already better than I'd be able to do it myself. Whatever mistakes it may have, it's just not my skill set. I don't think I've used Sakuraba. Look at the red hair. Atsushi Aoki, I think it was a car wreck that took his life last year. It's really sad. He was, as I understand it, his in-ring career was kind of nearing the later part, but he was still involved with a lot of the booking on the junior heavyweight side. And maybe a motorcycle wreck and not a car. I may have that wrong offhand. I wasn't planning on using him, but it's popped up about why not. making a note of it here in my notes, because I don't want it to slip my mind mid-match. Let's say Aoki in there. The other night I was playing a match with one where it's Heath Slater and had this old-time boxer named Willie Pep, but I forgot his first name in the middle of the match. You have to excuse my lack of instant recall with boxing names of past. So he just became Pep for the rest of the match. I took his first name away like I'm Vince McMahon. You know, I keep bringing up Gino Gambino here, so. You know, I'll save him for another match. And I realize this is not the most complete or well-organized section here. Sure has Mysterioso in it, but I put him there because of him working those New Japan of America shows at the end of January and in early February this year, which in some ways was like 3 months ago. In some ways it feels like 5 years, the way things change in a hurry. I mean, again, I hate to talk, but this was like an escape, a get away from the real life, but then I think about real life pro wrestling and the inherent challenges that are being faced. It's tough for everyone. And I know WWE has gotten a lot of heat, and rightly so, as far as some of their bizarre decisions and flying in talent when travel and any sort of communication or, not communication, but contact out in the public, you just put yourself at a higher risk. By the same token, when I see in those, especially the lower end of the demos, the male 12 to 34 demo this week was back up a little bit, but it's still just way, way down from where it was even just a few months ago. And they had some genuine emotion on the show last night on Raw for once with Becky Lynch and the pregnancy announcement and Asuka basically just getting the women's title. Although I don't keep track of who has what belt anymore in that company. Everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion. Especially when you're, kind of willy-nilly, almost pell-mell, to use a Vince McMahon word or term. But I'll tell you this about Becky Lynch. She manages to still be likable in spite of that bizarre world of WWE scripting and the odd way they make everybody speak, that strange cadence. Becky Lynch is still likable through all that. This is the only edit I've got of John Kronus. He was one half of the Eliminators. Perry Saturn's the more famous of the two. And I saw them in 1994 USWA when they're coming up. Probably made all of like $40 in a sandwich there at the Nashville Fairgrounds Sports Arena. I think it was like summer of '94. Around the time when Sid Vicious had his return there. And he was like by far the biggest star that wasn't a co-owner of the company or family or whatever the owners. As you might imagine, because of what they call a Tennessee payday, which isn't a reflection on Tennessee in general, it's just that particular promotion. Between that and Nick Goulas here in Nashville, when there actually was a Memphis side and a Nashville side before they kind of merged, for lack of a better term, really got Goulas just got run out of here when he's trying to push his son. And I didn't never see much of that because I was a little kid when that happened. I was like 6, 7 years old, whatever, early 80s. Didn't really start watching wrestling until a bit later. All right. So that's a long way of saying Kronus is a guy I've known about for a long time. This particular edit, like, he kept getting counted out. It was messing up matches I'd have with 7 matches with him. He'd be out there just 17 on the clock. He's putting a side headlock, getting double countouts. 6 minutes into a match. But in a match like this with no countouts, it's What's up with that outfit? I've already got Sakuraba in there, but doesn't mean I couldn't put a boxer in there as well. I have to be all boxers, but from what I've seen, at least my estimation, actually works out for the best to only have like one or maybe two boxers in, just because that's the unique element for it. That's their thing. It's like you wouldn't have, you know, a half dozen exoticas on a Lucha Libre card. And you get the one or two that do their spots and they're, you know, and that's their thing. Or little people, whatever, yeah, with the term midgets being seen as a pejorative, which it is, you know, that is any sort of compliment for people. And that's a tough one. You can't control how tall you are. I got lucky. I'm 6'2". Now I wasn't like on like a 5-hour flight when the jerk in front of me leans their seat back and I've got no leg room. That's the price you got to pay for But besides hitting your head a few extra times with a low ceiling or whatever, in general it kind of works out better for having some height, at least in my experience. Mortis. That's what we'll go with. And like when I talked about the other night about the downloadable content and how like the Stardom downloads have just one outfit. Like it's not that tough to do a color palette swap. See, it's not like there's that much effort to go from A to B to C here. But, and I'll come back to Mortis in a minute. You go here, one. You get the idea. They didn't, maybe they'll add more later, I don't know, but this is premium content. You want people to pay for it. A little spotlight in here and say, hey, look at all these cool outfits you can, use. But anyway, it's not like I can't copy it and and edit and do whatever I want to costumize with it if I really cared that much. So it's not the end of the world by any means. I remember if I actually tested this one out before I started the feed. I know I lined it up. I just wrote it in there, but I don't know if I loaded it up to see if they had the. I can look here. Unfortunately, you can't see this part. This is the mods, the PWGR. Yeah, whatever the back end is that makes the mods possible. It's stuff that goes way over my head tech-wise. Like the blue rails on there. That'll work. All right. Let's take a 2-minute break. Be right back and we'll do this match. Yes, I'm back. Make a note here, be playing as Tommy Wildfire Rich. I started watching wrestling, like really watching it, right at the start of 1990. I've mentioned this a few times on here, but my brother, for whatever reason, flipped around the channels and got to USA Network, and there was Gorilla Monsoon and Bobby Heenan, and they were doing sort of, Christmas-themed episode. And so that was right after that, whatever it was with Zeus. Luckily, I don't have much memory of it because that ended right before I started watching. And you know how WWE is now with the whole, if you have a memory longer than a month, then you're a mark, pal. Thus, there's no continuity and no emotional connection because it doesn't draw you in the way it should. At least that's my take on it. But I didn't really start watching WCW until as the WWF product in 1990. It was on a decline after WrestleMania 6, and then Jesse Ventura was gone. And what a downgrade. Although, it's funny, because people that started watching around that time, around SummerSlam 90, seemed to like Roddy Piper on color commentary. I thought it was absolute garbage. Got spouting nonsense. I thought, talking about an overhyped, character, this is ridiculous. Then I got to hear years later, Piper pre-WWF, and young Piper was just all the good things you hear, and that's, but I don't know how much of that was Piper versus WWF instructing him to say things a certain way, but on color, it's just so grating to me. The guy was one of the all-time best on promos at his peak, but color commentary within that bizarre world of WWF. But there are people that see it, with nostalgia. They like it, so I don't want to disappoint somebody, dissuade somebody from liking something from their past. It's like those early 1990 WWF Superstars of Wrestling or Wrestling Challenge shows where exactly, 5-star theater, Ishii and Shibata strong style strike exchange. But it's stuff that I remember fondly, and that's, it helps that 1990 Royal Rumble match being something that holds up today. I think more than half of the participants in that match are in the WWE Hall of Fame at this point. The announcer, Shivani's not in, although they probably would have put him in if he would have agreed to sign with him like they were trying to get him last year, just to get him off the market. But Ventura's in. And not like the WWF or WWE Hall of Fame actually means anything. It's one voter. The crazy old man in charge. Anyway. So, let's see how this looks. And if this looks right, we'll just go with it. We'll do it live, pal. Playing as Tommy Rich. And again, as I said, I don't change this part very much, and this kind of works for me, this format. Computer level 9. One negative, though, is trying to win any sort of timing thing on a superplex. It has not worked out well for me. But that's been my experience in playing this game in the past anyway. You get to this level of difficulty, and it's just, even like a test of strength, it would just be frustrating. And level 10 becomes just maddening. And I get it, though, as far as, okay, you want to make it as challenging as you can. At top level, you don't have to make a run saying, oh, it's easy, too easy. But, you make it tough. But it's a little different with this kind of format. You're one of 8 fighters, so you can pick your spots, and you're not in there, if you're fortunate at least, not getting double and triple team. All right, so here we go. Playing as Tommy Rich, taking on Paul Roma, Juice Robinson, Michael Elgin, Kazushi Sakuraba, Atsushi Aoki, may you rest in peace, John Kronus. So talking about wrestlers and resting in peace, before I get started here, it gets to be sad looking through like some of those stuff from, granted, some of it was 30 years ago, but guys that you're watching the show and it's like, all these guys have passed away, or the only one that's still alive is the referee or whatever. It's just, and that didn't get so sad with it. So okay, one more time. Here we go. You're playing as Tommy Wildfire Rich, taking on Paul Roma, Juice Robinson, Michael Elgin, Kazushi Sakuraba, Atsushi Aoki, John Kronus, and Mortis. The referee is Sonny Fargo in his 1985 Starcade yellow attire. venue the Full Sail University Arena, and the Loveless Cafe themed ring. Here we go. And that's the Loveless Cafe, not to be confused with the Bluebird Cafe that I started talking about earlier. Although I could always make that into a new ring design. Turn a negative into a positive, as it were. Here we go.
Right. Sure.
Early exchange there with Mortis and Michael Elgin. Aoki, Sakuraba. He's got Elgin thrown to the outside. Tommy Rich trying to get the fans behind him. Backdrop on Kronus. Juice Robinson, and it's Kronus seen better Robinson. Roma back into the ring after being sent to the outside. Tommy Rich attempting a figure 4 leg lock on Juice Robinson, but that got broken up by Kronus. Playing body press. 1 count at most. Expect on something like that less than 2 minutes into the match. Paul Roma, Sakuraba. Now it's Mortis. Big an elbow from Juice Robinson as Kronus unloads on Michael Elgin. Aoki with a knee lift for Paul Roma. Sneaking about Aoki, trying to get him off the ropes. Go behind, standing switch, and a takedown by Aoki on Rich. Mortis. Had a chin walk on Juice Robinson, then Juice with that takedown right to the the neck area, the jaw. So roll through by Tommy Rich. Only a 1 count on Juice Robinson. Rich throws Juice to the outside. Aoki, side headlock on Sakuraba. Elgin sends Mortis for the ride. Paul Roma just kind of looks on. Hard shots there by Elgin for both Paul Roma and Mortis. Where Mortis only counters with a kick. Double drop kick on Aoki by Sakuraba and Juice Robinson. A punch from Kronus to Robinson. That's the 5-minute mark of the match. Aoki trying to work over the ribs. And Juice Robinson in that far corner. Strike exchange. Mortis and Elgin. Elgin finally gets the better of Mortis. Tommy Rich throws Mortis to the outside and finds himself taken down by Paul Roma. Paul Roma then saves me from a offensive move from Michael Elgin. Now it's Tommy Rich mixing it up with Sakuraba. Might be a mistake, we'll see. Screaming that flying body press. Now he goes 2 counts. And Aoki trying to sneak him on Sakuraba, but he was ready. Get to the Kimura. Juice Robinson, suplex to the outside. Rock bottom. Uranagi from Mortis on Roma. 2.9 a near fall. We'll had a first elimination of the match. Atsuka and Aoki. Michael Elgin trying to get the pin. Juice Robinson goes to the outside. Tommy Rich will follow him out there. Check that to Michael Elgin. So that red and blue looks like I'm going over. If I know it was Elgin, I might have gone out there. Elgin works over Rich. 2 count. Mortis. Sakuraba. Sakuraba tries for that MMA style takedown. And be kicked away by Mortis. Another 2 count. The action. Fast and furious. Sonny Fargo stuck on the other side of the ring. An armbar. Sakuraba with submission maneuver on Mortis. Mortis escapes. And a burning hammer on Kronus by Elgin. Rich tries to steal a cover. Dissuaded from that with an elbow, so goes for a cover on Elgin. And that's a 2 count. Big splash off the top by Roma on Aoki. And a 2 count. 2 counts aplenty at this point. Nearly 10 minutes into the match. There's a roll up. Aoki, near fall on Roma, 2.9. Another 2.9. Roma, pile driver. And Juice Robinson. Sakuraba tries to get a submission out of Mortis. We're past the 10-minute mark of the match. Spinning powerbomb by Elgin on Kronus. Got broken up, and Kronus was dazed. And there's Paul Roma to take advantage of the pile driver. Tommy Rich sitting in the corner. Sit up pile driver on Kronus by Aoki. Tommy Rich will be fired to the ropes. Backs off. It's Aoki on the top rope. Aoki finally saw his window had closed and jumped down. Armbreaker and a critical. Count. We got a critical, we got an elimination, but you bastard! Juice Robinson, this is the one eliminated. For being critical, he was still up and at him with an insult on the way out. And Kronus just drops Sakuraba like an atomic drop, only just letting him fall all the way to the mat. Tailbone first. Kronus with a vertical suplex on Big Mike. Kronus set out pile driver on Roma. Rich goes for a cover, but I'll go with that. 2.9 on near fall. Aoki. Sakuraba arm drag. On Mortis by Rich. 7 remain in this match. This is not first fall wins, and that garbage here. So it's kind of strange from a strategy standpoint, seeing these guys break up pins. I'll do it sometimes just for the fun of it. Roma takes down Tommy Rich into a side headlock. Vertical suplex on Kronus by Elgin. Forearm shot by Mortis. Takes down Aoki. Aoki momentarily found himself in a submission hold as Paul Roma tries to stalk Tommy Rich. Rich will throw a bleeding Paul Roma to the floor. It's a battle by the entrance ring. Arm drag on the floor by Roma. Tommy Rich. Side headlock outside the ring. Loveless Motel themed wrestling ring. It's not falls count anywhere, but without countouts, the fight can go on the floor indefinitely. Submission maneuver locked in on Aoki by Sakuraba. Headlock by Roma off the top rope. An Alabama Jam type leg drop off the top by Kronus on the Elgin. Back elbow off the top rope by Kronus onto Elgin. Elgin is dazed. Kronus, vertical suplex. I've been for the best for Elgin to fall to the outside. Now there's Tommy Rich to walk in a figure 4 leg lock. There's a pin attempt by Mortis and a 2 count. Mortis with a 2 count on the mighty Sakuraba. Pin attempt on Sakuraba by Kronus, but quickly came and went as Tommy Rich hightails into the ring once he sees that Michael Elgin has a kendo stick. Mortis did not see the kendo stick. From behind, Elgin finishes strike. Gotta keep your head on a swivel in a match like this. More than 18 minutes in, and still 7 or 8 competitors in there. Tommy Rich fires up the fans. Tommy Rich posing there from Mortis. Aoki taken down with a kick by Rich. Punches in the face on Sakuraba, of all people, by Mortis. Mortis with a pair of kicks. Side headlock. And Sakuraba by Tommy Rich. Slow referee Sonny Fargo to get up to that count with Roma and the pile driver on Aoki. Rich collides with Kronus and a German suplex by Big Mike that sends Aoki out of the ring, down to the floor. My goodness. On the top rope, big splash at the top by Paul Roma and Michael Elgin and a 2 count. Sakuraba's going to put symbols there. Dragon Sleeper applied on Roma by Kronus. Paul Roma thrown right into Tommy Rich, knocking the kendo stick out of his hand. Running clothesline by Elgin on Aoki. Head scissors there, applied by Tommy Rich. On the neck of Sakuraba. Reversal into the corner. Kronus fires in Elgin. Here comes Rich. Hurts just barely thrown to the outside. There's Kronus, penitent, and a 2 count on Sakuraba. Well, it's been a brutal fight, as you can see from the blood there on the ring mat. Kendo stick strikes. 2 count. Rich breaks up the pin attempt. Sakuraba looks happy. Flying body press by Rich on Sakuraba. 2 count only. There's referee Sonny Fargo. There's a submission attempt. Locked in just a moment there by Sakuraba on Rich. Sakuraba was attacked. Helping out Tommy Rich. Roma goes for a pin on Aoki. And a 3 count. Aoki's been eliminated. 6 remain. Tommy Rich. Sakuraba. Paul Roma. Double axe handle on the outside by John Kronus. Mortis on the outside as well. And then Big Mike. Looking at a headlock there, applied by Paul Roma. There's that submission. Sakuraba working on the arm, takes that arm bar. So look at Sakuraba just punching Tommy Rich in the face. Meanwhile, outside the ring, it's Mortis. Using a piece of lumber to attack Kronus, and a Kronus with a shot to the head. Tommy Rich do a plancha. That's just not going to happen. Outside, it's kendo stick picked up by Mortis, but Kronus trying to get the stick away from him and to kick him down. Look at the power on display with Elgin with the slam down Roma instead. Sakuraba breaks up just to get a leg submission attempt there, locked in. Action all over the place still, more than 26 minutes into the match. There's a roll up, crab-like roll up by Rich. And a 3 count. Paul Roma has been eliminated by Tommy Rich. Wildfire Tommy Rich takes care. Roma down to 5. Sakuraba, Big Mike, Michael Elgin, John Kronus, and Mortis. Mortis celebrated a little too soon. Taken down by Kronus, who poses for the crowd, but it's a spin kick on Elgin. Kronus, leg drop off the top rope to the back of the head. And Sakuraba, a Lamar straw cradle by Tommy Rich and Sakuraba. Wasn't even a 2.9, but felt like a 2.8. And on the apron though, powerbomb! Tommy Rich got powerbombed off the apron to the floor by John Kronus. Sakuraba walks in a submission attempt there on Kronus. There are no rope breaks in this match. Kronus escapes. And a critical. Kronus just got critical. The noise that was critical, but little investigating to find out who exactly it was. It should be Kronus. They doubled over there like that. I think when somebody gets KO'd, critical, they play that kind of like weird looking oblong land. There's a pin attempt by Tommy Rich. And the cover on Kronus. 2 count. Got a submission. I think Sakuraba got that submission out of Mortis, and now insult to injury, or perhaps more injury. Going back to the armbar after the bell rang. Past the 30-minute mark of the match. There's been nothing short of a war in there. After Elgin, Alabama slam type move to take down Kronus. Submission achieved by Sakuraba, but now that's spinning. Sit out. Powerbomb by Elgin and Sakuraba. 2 count. I thought Sakuraba was done for there. But the MMA legend, not quite done yet. Sakuraba going for a submission move there on Elgin. Can he get a submission? A tap out. No, Elgin escapes. Knee lift. And a leg lock, ankle lock combination there. Like grapevine. Ruin everybody's fun there with a kendo stick. Elgin blocks the kick attempt by Tommy Rich, but Rich connects with a punch. Running Bulldog and Sakuraba by Tommy Rich. Rich throws Sakuraba to the outside, gives chase. All 3 wrestlers outside the ring. This elimination match started with 8 participants. Down to 3, Sakuraba. Just rolled back into the ring. Tommy Rich in the blue tights. And it's Big Mike, Michael Elgin in the red. And on the floor, flip behind by Rich, back elbow by Elgin. Elgin thrown into the barrier. Knocked to the ground. Tommy Rich goes into the ring to face off with Sakuraba. That might be a mistake. The Kimura for the wrist lock. Rich manages to escape. I don't think Sakuraba got all fully cinched in. It'd been a tough ask for Rich to escape from that. At this point, he goes back to it. There's the critical. So I got critical, right? But that's a little late there, but I guess I'm still in the match. I'll stand out here with the kendo stick and let Sakuraba try to choke out Elgin. And Elgin escapes. And no rope breaks, but Elgin able to maneuver around and get out of it. And again, we get a submission out of Elgin. So Sakuraba cranking down on the neck. Now the power on display. Elgin dropping Sakuraba. Back and forth. Like grapevine ankle lock. Trying to get a submission out of Big Mike, but Elgin, the fighting spirit hanging in there. Ryan just being lazy on the outside with a kendo stick. There's one for each of them. Well, I got criticaled earlier, so I have to understand I'm a little bit apprehensive. Flying body press on Elgin by Tommy Rich. A 3 count. And now Sakuraba with the armbar. That was the risk I took there with Tommy Rich going for that body press. Got the pin on Elgin, but Sakuraba just waiting. It was a sitting duck. I already had that critical before, and I don't know exactly how Tommy Rich managed to power back through it, but he did. Made the final 3, the final 2, and Elgin is taken out by Rich, but ultimately, the submission mastery shown by Kazushi Sakuraba. Your winner, Sakuraba. All right, so then we'll move on to the next match here on this is episode 8. Luke plays Fire Pro Wrestling World. Thanks for watching. So we had the WWE Supercard themed ring at Tokyo Dome earlier. Then the match at Takafumi City with the Super Mega Baseball 3 themed ring, with that game coming out. It's a matter of hours now. Noon Eastern, New York City time, and you can figure out your time zone from there if you're so inclined. And then just finished up The match with the Loveless Cafe. Not confused with the Bluebird Cafe that I explained in great detail before I realized I was talking about the wrong cafe in Nashville. Two that have been around for a long time, I might add, too. We'll stick with the relatively smaller type of arena, Korakuen Hall, Tokyo, Japan. This is the design I made relatively early on, just playing around and seeing what was possible with between the Photoshop or Paint.net like I use. One of many options out there as far as photo editing and things of that nature. I made a Casablanca themed ring. Casablanca, one of my all-time favorite movies, absolute classic. And so I thought, hey, make it as if we're going to be promoting Casablanca with a wrestling match. How would you do it? So this ring is the answer to that. And the great thing with the internet, you can look online and find posters and images and even just PNG files that have the Casablanca and that classic script style that is associated with it. We'll go with young Tiger Hattori, at least initially. So I changed my mind. I will check something real quick to make sure I've got the proper arena set up here. It should be in there in the arena texture database, although I can't look at the railing or the mat color offhand. I could pull it up on the local computer here, but I'm trying to minimize the time spent yakking while pulling up files that you can't see on the live stream. Call me crazy, but I don't think that's the most compelling content you can find out there. And there are plenty of options. I might play as Nigel McGuinness, but I'm not sure. I think I've used him, but I don't know if it's this or just a... Nope, I've not used him in this. Must have just been a simmed match. That's the best version of Nigel right there with the spiky hair. I think I've only seen him wrestle that one time in Nashville. The main event of the first ever Ring of Honor show in Nashville in December of 2008. So going back a few years. But it was McGuinness against Jerry Lynn. And Jerry Lynn's from Minnesota, grew up there, but he lives in the Nashville area now. Murfreesboro, same county as me. And all it took was the crowd being told that he's from Minnesota, but hailing now, living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and it was easy for the crowd that even didn't know Ring of Honor necessarily to figure out who to cheer for. But Nigel was just great in that match. So was Jerry Lynn. They were two excellent wrestlers. And they had to follow a very bloody and violent match between Bryan Danielson and Claudio Castagnoli. The rest of the show wasn't all that memorable. It was right after Gabe Sapolsky and Ring of Honor had parted ways. But the semi-main and the main event more than made up for it. Two fun matches. I don't know why Bill Dundee ended up in the Indies. I guess technically you could say he is. No disrespect to him. Yeah. Version of Swerve before he was renamed in NXT because God forbid let him actually be Shane Strickland. He has to be Isaiah Swerve Scott. But what does it matter anyway? Because the crazy old man in charge on the main roster is going to screw up when they call him up anyway. I enjoyed watching Bill Carr when I saw him in Evolve. There's a lot of matches there. Same and Dan Barry. And obvious comparisons there with Bill Carr with the late great Trailer, Big Boss Man. Both big guys that can wrestle in suit clothes and also are remarkably agile for their size. Bro. I don't know much at all about the look that Austin Theory has in NXT or on the main roster now, or what they're doing with him. I've heard people complain about him. Like, I think they almost, the rare case where they brought somebody too quick with Heyman trying to make actual stars out of people, but that has to be so frustrating. Trying to build young talent, new stars, knowing that Vince is going to screw it up, either on purpose or by accident or some of both. If it doesn't this month, check back with me in 3 months to see how it's going. Hey, I know Jonah Rock has a different name now in NXT, but now here we go. Chris Dickinson. Although, I'm going to use Dickinson in another match. The black tights, and it's not exactly the same as what Nigel has, but save it for later. Or like someone like Wheeler Yuta, who was in the Dojo Pro series. Had one season thus far. Just right in the space bar, see what it pops me over to. I like Zach Gibbs. I'm going to skip him for now, but what a Super Dragon. I have a few non-wrestlers and a couple of random people I downloaded. Let's see favorite politicians battle. Your favorite 1990s WCW. That's a really good looking replication there of Sonny Ono with the face. And I'm pretty sure they never had a Sonny Ono knockoff face in the actual game. So whoever did that did a good job. There we go. Filthy Tom Lawler. Oh, there was the original version I downloaded. And I don't even think this one's available in the shop anymore on the workshop. Using it as a nickname. Oh, at the shop. Powder coat it. So we'll go Filthy Tom Lawler. Actually, no, I'm not going to use filter here. All that. Well, I haven't used Fenix yet, so I've got maybe 2 or 3 Fenix Creator Wrestler downloads, but there's a couple that have just as Fenix, and I'll probably use that one. I think it's my favorite of them. And there's one that says Ray Fenix. Although it's the same 4 costumes, but it's really, unless there's some sort of intricate detail I'm overlooking and stuff. Like one of those like brain teaser puzzles. What's different about the very minute differences between the various looks. We'll go with the light blue. Unless I change my mind. That's easy enough to swap out. I used one of the clowns, I think. Oh, one thing I used Murder Clown and not... oh, hey, Mr. Sacco. Yeah, Becky and Seth. I used Murder Clown and not Psycho Clown. So we used Psycho Clown here. Yeah, it was quite the announcement they had. It was the rarest of things anymore. Genuine emotion on WWE Monday Night Raw. But it sounds like it was something she's been wanting for a long time, so you know, I'm happy for her. Although I worry about how WWE is going to handle this, because I know what happens to things that start off strong, and especially when they didn't plan it and it's a hit. A pregnancy, though, if Becky just disappears for a while and then comes back, the crowd will be ready for her whenever she's ready to come back, if she does come back. Maybe she will, maybe she won't. I imagine she will. But you never know. So yeah, congratulations to Becky and as if I know them personally. I saw you as Tyler Black in 2008. Hey, congrats, buddy. Meanwhile, I'll be like, WWE will do something off-putting. They'll have like a paternity test online or something of that nature to take something legitimate and actually good-hearted for once and ruin it. Yeah, I mean, it was authentic, genuine emotion, which they just have absolutely, I think by design, have just taken out of the product as much as possible, which is one of many bad decisions that company has made. But Asuka, that was one of those things. It was a rare thing I went to actually watch it. It was on Raw, and it was worth my time because it was really good. Yeah, it came across as genuine. Most definitely. All right, one more and be ready to go with the next match here. Put Loki in the suit. Like he'll wear that one Wrestle Kingdom. Well, I can't put him in the suit because I've already got Bill Carr in the suit. And I can still use him, I just won't put him in the suit. So we'll see how this looks, because I'm not... if I looked up the Casablanca ring for the Korakuen venue before the feed started, I don't recall it offhand. Although I don't think I've changed the... hang on one second. I don't think I've changed the Casablanca ring within... what's it called? The arena textures. Yeah, the arena texture database. Make sure I got it right. Yeah, that was clever with the briefcase having the belt inside. At least they tried to explain it, make it make sense, which is a lot more than they typically do. Which is so frustrating. They got so much talent there. There should not have been room in the market for a company like AEW to come up. But They just would not put on a distinctly different brand, like a different type of product. It all had to be into that same weird WWE way. That why have two brands when the only difference is the primary color used in the name, and one's 3 hours and one's 2 hours, because it's the same slow, pay by number style. Yeah, something like the Feast or Famine that TNA the lock boxes. They would TNA. They would just overthink things. And that place, there were friends of mine that worked there. And I talked to them a couple of times, and never ended up working there. It was probably for the best. I know I get frustrated right away because some ridiculous something or another would have, But people that know what makes good pro wrestling, I know are in there, but making that turn into an actually, good product, something altogether different. All right, so here we go. From Cork and Hall, I'll be playing as Nigel McGuinness, facing EC3 or Ethan Carter III, Bill Carr, Wheeler Yuta, Super Dragon, Ray Fenix, Psycho Clown, and Loki. The referee is Tiger Hattori. Cork and Hall the venue, and the Casablanca ring theme. Here we go. We'll see how the railing and the outside mats look if they don't clash too terribly bad with it. That'll work. The silver railing's pretty almost ubiquitous, and the green on the outside. That'll work. Okay, this is an early ring. I found that there's actually posters they came out with at the time. All-time classic film. It's easy enough to find stuff for online. I tried to keep it simple with the actual ring apron. You see the Casablanca font there with a tan color. Have a kind of matches the color scheme inside the ring, but not be too obnoxious about it. Nigel McGuinness throws Psycho Clown to the outside. Meanwhile, Super Dragon to the outside, chased by Loki, both back into the ring. Poison Rana by Fenix. And Psycho Clown. Bill Carr went for a vertical suplex on Wheeler Yuta, and it blocked by EC3. And that's referee Tiger Hattori there in the red vest. Phoenix thrown off the ropes by Psycho Clown. Those kicks to the face. Those Kawada-style kicks from Phoenix. It's EC3. We're trying to headbutt everybody. Tombstone pile driver on Super Dragon by Loki. Strike exchange Phoenix and Bill Carr. Psycho Clown was chasing me down as McGuinness, but I got away from him. Now it's going to be Bill Carr and Phoenix. Spike powerbomb on Wheeler Yuta. EC3 with a Tombstone pile driver on Loki. Burning hammer. EC3, rough landing. Belly back suplex by Psycho Clown on Phoenix. The thing is, they're going to do what they want to do. It's Vince being stubborn, and it's not going to change. And this was a raise from last week as far as the male 12 to 34 demographic went, but it's still so far down to how it was just 2 months ago. It should be very frightening for WWE. This has just been a plummet. There's been a slow decline in younger viewers, which is what you get for a product that is designed for an audience of one who will turn 75 years old in more than 3 months. WWE's the company that, with impunity, kept doing business with Saudi Arabia. He had the like a scruple to do it initially. And again, it's not the people of Saudi Arabia, it's the people in power. They're the problems. Nigel went for a cover on EC3, broken up by Psycho Clown. Bill Carr's fired up. Loki with some sort of a submission mover on Fenix. Knee lift by Psycho Clown on EC3 as Loki and Fenix battle it out. 2 count. Super Dragon standing switch on McGuinness. Fired into that big middle there with Humphrey Bogart and Ingrid Bertelsen. Casablanca. Nigel, an EC3 spike powerbomb on Psycho Clown. Yuta, uppercut on Nigel, a 2 count. Past the 8-minute mark of the match. Pin attempt. I believe that's my cover at Tori's counting. Yes, 2 count. Loki gets shot on that pin attempt there from McGuinness. Yuta takes down Fenix. Super Dragon thinks twice about a top rope move. Another 2 count. The applause to the crowd here in Tokyo at Corkin Hall. Backslide there by Super Dragon on Yuta. Trying that headbutt there with Nigel McGuinness. This has not been working thus far. Nigel rolls Super Dragon to the outside. That flip at the top rope there. Loki made contact, but still getting up outside. Armbar by Nigel on Super Dragon. An attempt there on Carr. 2.9 a near fall. Loki eliminated the much larger Bill Carr. Past the 10-minute mark of the match. And as always, no countouts, no disqualifications, no time limit. Covered by Nigel after a headbutt on EC3, broke up to 1. Yeah, it's a night and day difference with AEW. Because I think WWE, they've just intentionally ruined so many things that could make them money. Like stipulations. You can't for a second believe WWE's going to live up to a stipulation. And it's frustrating to me because I saw people like, they didn't even finish the pay-per-view yet with the Cody versus MJF match. People like trying to figure out ways they could get out of a stipulation immediately. Like, no! Now's your chance to prove that you will stick to your steps. Earn our trust now, and you'll earn our money later. Yeah, AEW will give you the bullet points. They're very smart the way the pacing of the show is. That's to me the most impressive thing. And there were some sacrifices made. It would have helped them, I think, to have some more of the outstanding video pieces put together by Kevin Sullivan, not the wrestler, but the really good video guy based here in Nashville. He would take nonsense from TNA. There's a modified Northern Lights by Loki on Nigel for a 1 count. But he was making over like $1 million with the video editing. He's the one that made those Jeff Jarrett Global Force Wrestling shows for Wrestle Kingdom 9 that were just like they did on a shoestring budget. They looked so great. He's the guy doing the AEW stuff. And so, 2.9 near fall. And I think it's actually helped with the, not maybe from last week's one from the week before, AEW Dynamite. They had more feature pieces involved. And you look at the numbers, the male viewership went down somewhat, but the female actually went up. And that could be happenstance. You can't anyway too much into one particular number, into one rating. Had to deal with enough of that through the years in TV news. One of those frustrating things. Have like the ratings for the day before posted in the newsroom, as if I could somehow do something about it. It's, I mean, not 80%. I'll try even harder now. No. So I know how it could be with the ratings. Is there a submission try there? Bow and arrow type maneuver. And Nigel takes forever to get out of that move from Super Dragon. Yeah, the Ricochet. It's just. I mean, think about Ricochet. In NXT, he's there having 5-star matches. He's Now, there were things he couldn't do, he certainly was able to do, he's not allowed to do compared to his days in New Japan and PWG and elsewhere. Independence. Evolve. But, it's where Paul Heyman saw the potential of having to be a huge star, but it's almost better off not doing that to him. So you're punishing him at that point because it's just not going to work out well. We notice of all the amazing acts they had NXT TakeOver Dallas 4 years ago was Bill Parkins on the top, wrote nobody home. Pinfall. EC3 eliminated by Loki. Fenix off the top. And the Psycho Clown broken up by McGuinness at 2. Pinfall. Super Dragon pins Bill Carr. But, only like Poison Rana on Super Dragon by Fenix and had a lot of straw cradle. Super Dragon 2 count. Saudi Arabia was complicit in the murder of a contributor for the Washington Post newspaper. And I promise you, from working for years and years in journalism, they will never forget that. Until that regime is brought down in Saudi Arabia, they will not forget that one of their own was murdered. Premeditated murder. The Crown Prince and his cronies. Off the top! That Canadian destroyer off the top. My goodness. It's bad enough that they're doing the shows and taking the blood money from Saudi Arabia, send Ricochet there and just squash him like a geek. On Nigel, Yuta makes the save for Nigel McGuinness, and McGuinness then repays him by throwing Yuta to the outside. Past the 20-minute mark of the match. 6 remain. 3 masks all together as Fenix with a pop-up cutter on Super Dragon. And then Psycho Clown there. Nigel inside the ring looking out. It's Loki with a pinfall. Super Dragon's pinned. Loki and Wheeler Yuta fight on the outside. Double axe handle. I don't know if that collided or not. If it did, it didn't have much effect. Drop kick off the top rope by Fenix on Psycho Clown. Spinning into Gary by Loki on Nigel. Submission move locked in. You can't submit out. You can't lose the fall outside the ring in this match. That's where the rules are, but it sure be in a bad way. Loki is taking it to Nigel. I gotta get back in the ring. I can't though. Loki too quick to follow up. German suplex and a roll through. Broken up though by Wheeler Yuta. And Fenix having saved there as Yuta and Loki in a crossing paths. The attempt off the ropes there. They run the ropes and there's a cutter out of nowhere. Suplex sends Loki to the outside. A short clothesline by Nigel McGuinness on Psycho Clown in the cover. Nigel McGuinness with a pin has eliminated Psycho Clown. We're down to 4. Wheeler Yuta goes for the cover on Nigel. Loki makes the save. Loki picked up into a pop-up cutter by Fenix. Ray Fenix. Reversal out of a reversal into a bulldog on Wheeler Yuta. Loki. Go behind. Standing switch. An Olympic slam type takedown there. Change to Kurt Angle from Wheeler Yuta. Yuta. Spinning hip attack on Loki. Nigel throws Loki to the outside. Strike exchange. Fenix and Yuta. Double axe handle. That one. Definitely on target against Loki, who's dazed there outside the ring. Well, this may be a mistake though for Nigel. Last time I got there with Loki, put a hurt on me. Wheeler Yuta trying to do a dive against the Abysmal Man outside the ring. Fenix just chilling there inside the ring. We got a German suplex on the floor by Wheeler Yuta on Loki. Nigel's fired up. Clothesline. Nigel finally decides to get on the action. Short clothesline. Into the ring. Missed the palm thrust on Fenix. Now Loki and Yuta follow behind. More than 25 minutes into the match. we started with. We're down to 4. Loki out of the ring, cover on Fenix, a 2 count. Nigel trying to get a quick, cheap one. But not quite enough yet. Way off a diving clothesline attempt. Loki. And a pin. Loki. Pinning combination there. On Fenix. Taken by Yuta, covered by Nigel. Pin hasn't broken up by Yuta. As the fans show their appreciation for that burst of applause. Going top rope. Nobody home as Nigel moves Yuta out of the way. Missed on a headbutt. But Loki there with an enziguri. Off the ropes. Again, headbutt. Not quite effective there for Nigel, but it's Loki on the offense. And I saw what you wrote there, Mr. Soccer. I'll go through all that here after the match as far as my talents have been brought up and how they've been completely misutilized. Loki on Yuta, and the headbutt that time found the mark. 2 count. Into the corner. Nigel fired Loki and then shoulders right to the rib cage of Loki. Now Yuta. Loki headfirst into the turnbuckle and decides to come over and mix things up with Nigel McGuinness. Double axe handled by McGuinness. Loki's going top rope. That spinner off the top and nobody home. 630 was going for there. Great rotation, but nobody home. Backslide by Loki. Headbutt by Nigel McGuinness. Breaks it up at 2. Nigel tries to catch his breath. This 8-man elimination match. Kick to the back of the head of Wheeler Yuta. That's the 30-minute mark of the match. Drop kick. A drop kick by Loki. Now it's Nigel trying to get a submission. Yuta hanging in there. Those Kawada-type kicks again. The head of Yuta off the top. Double stomp. But again, Nigel causing problems for Loki with an attempt at a top rope move. There we go. Take the Jushin Liger that palm thrust on Yuta. 2 only. Belly to back suplex. Accordion style. Folding over Loki into Wheeler Yuta, following up with elbow strike. Loki on wobbly legs. Kick combo there by Loki. Working at 1 by Nigel. And Nigel going for that modified crossface. But Yuta broken up before referee Tiger Hattori could get there. There we go. The crowd fired up. Snap suplex on Yuta by Loki. Monster cradle. Loki has been eliminated by Wheeler Yuta. And it's Yuta and Nigel McGuinness, the final 2 in this match. 2 count only. Weak attempt at a running clothesline by Nigel. Yuta missing. Drop kick attempt. Both men avoiding each other's strikes. Short clothesline. And now, getting a submission. Working on the left arm there of Wheeler Yuta. Yuta finally escapes. Yuta able to slow his return just long enough for Nigel McGuinness to be a bit thrown off by it. Now a strike exchange. Wheeler Yuta. The long tights, black with a green trim. And the black tight is a spinning clothesline by Nigel McGuinness. Only 35 minutes into this match. The final 2 remaining. Wheeler Yuta and Nigel McGuinness. A drop kick by Yuta. Only on the Casablanca poster in the middle of the ring. Pair of kicks. Roma straw cradle by Wheeler Yuta. 1 count. Nigel put that at 1. Side headlock by Yuta. He's got to wear down McGuinness a bit more. Have a realistic chance at winning. Trying with those strikes. And a drop kick, a smart move by Yuta. Trying to wear down the stamina of Nigel on the ropes. A drop kick, and finally a cover and a 2 count. Another drop kick, but that time a no-sell. Run into a brick wall. And then an Olympic slam. A Cradle style Olympic slam by Yuta. Into a Boston Crab. Let's get a submission out of Nigel McGuinness. Double axe handle to McGuinness. Trying to get into that arm bar. That submission maneuver. With body scissors with the legs. There's a palm strike. Palm strike there by Nigel McGuinness. Terrible timing on that. It was a poor decision. Snap suplex by Yuta. Working the hamstring. The legs of Nigel McGuinness. Driving that elbow. The clavicle. Throat area. McGuinness Yuta immediately back. Folding over. Oops. Hitting the start button by mistake. Nobody home for the drop kick. And out of the ring. To the outside. Nigel McGuinness. Nearing the 40-minute mark of the match. It's a belly-to-belly suplex on the floor. On that wood floor there at Cork and Hall. They battle into the darkness. Super kick on the floor. By McGuinness on Yuta. Wheeler Yuta. Long run from McGuinness and a hard hit. Fans at ringside warned to be paying attention. The other side. No contact there with the railing that time, but Yuta working against the much larger McGuinness, trying to wear him down. Smart strategy there. More than 40 minutes into this match. And no time limits, it's going to go indefinitely. At the top. Little foot stuff on the top by Wheeler Yuta. Snap suplex by Yuta on McGuinness, who's on wobbly legs himself. Dazed. There again looking dazed. Palm strike. That connected. There's a submission maneuver locked in. Nigel again working on the arms of Wheeler Yuta. Yuta throws McGuinness down to the floor. You hear that thud. It's Nigel crashing that green mat below. We'll repay the favor. Back outside again. That right arm more than 42 minutes into this match. Nice reversal by Yuta. And folding over McGuinness. That belly-to-back suplex. Where is Yuta finding the strength at this point in the match? German release suplex on the floor. And McGuinness is lucky to cut most of the mat there. It's not false count anywhere. And a seated full Nelson. Not very good viewing distance, luckily for Yuta. Trying to work the hard cam. Slide over towards that right side. Oh, don't go for a pin, Nigel. Come on, that's not what it's going for. Spinning toe hold shades of Dory Funk Jr. Terry Funk from the Double Cross Ranch in Texas. Headbutt misses. Ring announcers taking his job very seriously there. Warning those fans, be alert. Miss on the palm thrust, but Nigel able to throw Yuta back to the outside. I'll say I noticed well there, Mr. talking about Lars Sullivan. I'll get all that here in just a minute. Plenty to talk about in there. Also talk about the, I started to tell a story earlier, this strike exchange between Wheeler Yuta and Nigel McGuinness, that NXT takeover Dallas from 4 years ago. Will this be it? We passed the 45-minute mark in this match. And Wheeler Yuta facing a very strong opponent, just hanging in there. And much like Yuta earlier realized he's got to wear down McGuinness before he could pin him, I think Nigel's figured the same thing about the arms of Yuta, too. Again, that seated full Nelson outside the ring by McGuinness. Some writhing in pain. A roll through, but you see the exhaustion. Both men slow to get back up. On the floor with the stroke. Shades of Jeff Jarrett going face first into that hard floor outside the ring. Between the pads in there in that corner. And again, Yuta slammed into the steel by McGuinness. Nigel and Wheeler finally bringing it back into the ring. Body slam. Headbutt. McGuinness with a headbutt. There we go. Clothesline. Yuta pops back up. Drop kick. Yuta able to catch Nigel McGuinness coming off the ropes from that drop kick. Exploder suplex. An exploder suplex by Wheeler Yuta. Nigel's just going to throw Yuta to the outside and take a breather here. Headbutt. Well timed that time. And now that seated full Nelson submission maneuver. No rope breaks. But somehow Yuta able to escape. And a well-timed kick that drops McGuinness. Back elbow. Unfazed. It's Wheeler Yuta. He was trying to hold on for a pin attempt and Nigel rolled through, or just that accordion-style takeover, but Nigel was fine, starting to get the hang of the headbutts and the timing and the spacing. And the reversal into the well once too often. Nigel wobbling off the ropes. Yuta drop kick on the mark. More than 50 minutes into the match. Although you're fine, Mr. Soccer, with the writing. I'm glad you put all that on there. I'm able to talk about it after the match. It's tough enough to be like trying talking and playing at the same time. I'm looking over that. A triple threat. Although people out there that can do it. Test of wills. This match will go until we have a winner. And these men punish each other. And the 6 others that have already been eliminated over this time. Doing this to be all for naught. You gotta figure to be running low on gas in the tank for both men at this point. The elbow and the landing into the floor for Yuta. Transition to that seated full Nelson by McGuinness on Wheeler Yuta. Baseball bat. Light tube. Instead it's an exploder suplex by Wheeler Yuta, stomping on the chest of Nigel McGuinness. Didn't break the light tube, just shot to the gut, then the elbow. Trying to pick up the light tube, and instead it was the run effect there. The triangle button doing both of the same things. That time it works. Wheeler Yuta, though, just not allowing Nigel to get a clean shot, or should he? Drop kick. Drop kick. And Nigel McGuinness. On Michael McGuinness, I should say, by Wheeler Yuta. Headbutt. Nigel with that headbutt. Spin kick by Yuta. Nigel runs in. Yuta's playing possum. Suckered him in. Now it's Nigel whipped to the other side. Tree of woe in that corner. Nigel falls out of it before Yuta can strike, but still is falling upside down head first into the mat. At this point in the match, more than 55 minutes in. Missed the clothesline. Olympic slam by Yuta and Nigel McGuinness. These two back and forth. Nigel breaks the light tube over the head of Wheeler Yuta. There was a baseball bat. for extreme measures now. Those are the rings of Saturn. Submission move, but Yuta just will not give it up. Managed to hit the two leapfrogs and then botched on the collision. Yuta, who is bleeding, you see there blood on the mat. But it's not showing up on his body because of the whole, whatever weird things going on in this game right now with the blood effect, but never mind that. The power of Yuta. We're 57 minutes into this match, and Yuta able to pick up and take down much larger Nigel McGuinness. Nigel, back to the outside they go. Spinning toe hold. Work that move for the fans on this side of the ring. As you can see, Humphrey Bogart looking on from inside the ring. The ring announcer's making no doubts about it. It's his job. Let the crowd know. Don't go for a pin. Come on. So Nigel's going to work on the arms again of Wheeler Yuta, going after the left arm this time. It's a belly to belly on the floor on Nigel McGuinness by Wheeler Yuta. Trio of strikes through the forearm. And McGuinness fires Yuta. Can't hit a headbutt. Pays for it. Yuta is able to recover and fire Nigel back to the far side. And that belly to back suplex just folding over Nigel. Olympic slam on the floor. At least a minute fought from one side of the ring all the way around to the other. And then some. Again, Yuta falls back out. Jushin Liger style palm thrust by Nigel McGuinness. Near the 60-minute mark of the match. 60 minutes and counting. With no time limit. Going into 3 hours. Another 3 seconds. And now a submission move locked in. The legs hooked. Not quite a Moodle lock, but effective nonetheless. Effective. It's another exploder suplex by Yuta. Nigel wobbly. And a submission maneuver. And it's a submission! Can you believe that? It took more than an hour, game time wise. My goodness, what a beating Wheeler Yuta took. And what fighting spirit and heart shown. And the Yuta lock, as it's called there, as you can see, it's the maneuver to get the final and winning fall. EC3, Bill Carr, Super Dragon, Psycho Clown, Ray Fenix, Low Key, and Nigel McGuinness. But your winner is Wheeler Yuta. I'll do at least one more, but first I'll talk about some of the stuff you mentioned there in the stream chat, Mr. Sacco, with the call-ups from NXT. Now, I have to also preface this by saying there's a lot I haven't seen out of NXT and WWE, basically since the end of Talking Smack. When that went away, I couldn't even be bothered at that point to watch SmackDown anymore. Raw, 3 hours of misery. And I mentioned this the other night. I do not know anybody, personally, just friends online, whatever, people I've never even met. Anyone that enjoys watching Raw live, seen through all the commercial breaks, not being able to fast forward through anything. I mean, the people I know that watch regularly, or they treat it like they're embarrassed, like somebody admits to smoking cigarettes and don't want to, fess up to it. They're almost embarrassed about their addiction. But you look at the absolute free fall in the male 12 to 34 category. And again, that's not a money category per se, but that is a huge indication for the future. Because every single person in that 12 to 34 group, 6 years from now, that's the young end of your 18 to 49 demo, and that's what matters. Persons, it's just persons is silly, but that's how they call it persons as opposed to people because you're counting individual persons. Not my rule, I just have to go with it. So it's persons 18 to 49. When I worked in radio, they looked more towards 25 to 54 for whatever reason. But TV tends to skew a little younger. But to talk more in depth, though, as far as the talent from NXT that's been called up and just wasted. Although, this will be more me yapping here for a minute as opposed to anything playing with the game, but you'll have to hang in there with it. I'm going to pull up the NXT TakeOver Dallas. And that was a lightning in the bottle night. I'm trying to pull up photos from that night, trying to pull up the Wikipedia review. Or not even review, just a listing. Okay. It's not a very long list, but makes for some sorted reading. Only 5 matches on the show. I mean, it's contrary to what some might believe. You do not have to go 6 hours for a quote-unquote pay-per-view. That is really just, try and get time spent watching up on the WWE Network. So the opener, American Alpha beat the Revival. American Alpha was brought to the main roster. Immediately was undercut as far as like having an injury gimmick for a worked injury, as if these wrestlers aren't hurt enough legitimately all the time. You got to do these worked injuries. And then finally, win the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. You have 2 sets of main roster tag champs. You got a 3rd set down at NXT. I mean, might as well be wearing replica belts in line at WrestleCon or something by that point, because everybody's got a belt. And as always, if everybody's a champion, nobody's a champion. It's like you got 2 top champs. Guess what? You got 0 top champs. So American Alpha was broken up summarily, and just like people predicted before it even happened, before they're brought up at all, because you know it's going to happen, because Vince McMahon is predictable. He is stubborn in his old ways. I'm stubborn in my mid-age ways, but I mean, at least can be somewhat coherent about the world around me to say, okay, this isn't working. But I have a very different personality than the crazy old man has, Vince McMahon. See, the Revival, super talented, and I saw them in NXT 3 different times have matches with American Alpha in person. One in Dallas and then a pair of NXT National House shows. Enjoyed all of them. So the Revival were stuck in those and that ones where they're just overproduced and they tell you everything to do. Look at the AMA from, I think, TJ Perkins, or TJP, call him what you will, on Reddit, talking about just how every little thing is so produced and you have to do it the exact way they tell you to. You as an independent contractor, and what an absolute scam. It's a crime. I see it as an absolute crime as far as, the independent contractors are not employees, so guess what? WWE doesn't have to pay for a social security income tax. There's no payroll tax to be had for an independent contractor. I know I'm an independent contractor. Guess what? I get paid full boat. But such is life. When, the system is not designed for you to be able to easily do it. Anyway, so the Revival, when they went and signed the new contract, and look at how valueless those contracts were. People heard the big numbers: $750,000 for the for Carl Anderson and Dr. Luke Gallows. And why wouldn't they sign something like that? And you find out it's not a $750,000 guaranteed contract, or even close to a guarantee. It's one where WWE can keep you almost forever. They can freeze your contract without having to tell you, which is a stipulation in the contract. And so people that are knocking the Revival, not even knowing what's going on, and didn't understand those contracts, think I'll stick it. As you can tell, I'm kind of fired up about it, but it just pisses me off because you've got this talent, and they're intentional. This is done intentionally. And you cannot provide a reasonable explanation, analysis of WWE if you can't see what's going on. They're so obsessed with making the brand the star that now they have no real stars, except for guys that can barely move in the ring anymore. The 50 and up club. And of course, notable exceptions, but of course Vince, because he's so has his own insecurities that bleed through to everything in his life. The 10-year-old boy in North Carolina that wanted his daddy's attention. And I think his sense of humor froze about that point. I can only imagine how many hundreds of millions of dollars have been lost, squandered, never gained by WWE because of how they've turned off people through the years with their ridiculously bad comedy. It's not funny. It's not. If you want to laugh at it, maybe you're one of the few ones that does. Congratulations, enjoy it. But it's absolute garbage. It's stuff that makes you feel embarrassed as a viewer, as a wrestling fan to be watching it, and somebody to walk into the room right as they're doing some sort of embarrassing skit. Unfunny, bathroom humor or whatever, just like, you're already working, with 2 strikes against you, trying to pitch pro wrestling to the public. And you've got to put here's what they're doing. The writers are trying to please the old man, this audience of one. So, to continue on, you had Austin Aries beating Baron Corbin. Now, Austin Aries has got a rep for being somewhat tough to deal with. I've got a rep for that too, so I can, I'm not knocking the guy. It's just what you hear. But clearly his potential was not utilized well. It's stuck on the pre-show at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando. So I'm trying to get through the security, get through the metal detector line, finally get in and catch the end of the match. Oh, great. One match I was actually somewhat interested in seeing, and now we got 8 hours to sit here, however long it was. So Austin Aries, he got injured, of course, in NXT, and that kind of threw off some of the plans they had for him. And he was a color commentator for a while, because it was a short-term thing. They didn't overproduce him. He's actually good at it. But that ran its course, and ultimately he got tired of their stuff, and then maybe they got tired of him, and a long whatever. I don't know if they froze his contract or what happened, but he's not there anymore. Meanwhile, Baron Corbin, I'll get back to him in a second. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Sami Zayn. Phenomenal match. Just this very special feeling in the air that, and I deal with words for a living. I mean, I'm a writer, I talk, whatever. Words are what I do. And I find it difficult to find the words to explain that, the vibe in the air. Because it was something that at the time I realized this was something special. I've been going to wrestling shows a long, long time. A lot of shows, a lot of different places. There was a vibe there that night. We knew it was something special. We had the tickets that, we probably could have put, twice as many people in there if they would have had the room for it, but they didn't. They picked a smaller building. And I'm glad they did, because it made for this really unique vibe. We had Steve Austin, just like he was taught back in his USWA days, to go out and watch all the matches. He was back there in an area the fans couldn't get to it. He was back where production was, near where the NXT announcers were. He was out there just sitting there watching, or standing there just watching the matches quietly. So that was the vibe there that night. And so the crowd was not exactly Baron Corbin fans in the building per se, but Austin Aries beat him, so we the fans were happy. I was there at ringside. I guess I can say we and actually mean it. Then they, of course, mentioned Nakamura and Zayn. This phenomenal match. It was the closest we were ever going to get in NXT or WWE to New Japan, King of Strong style of Shinsuke Nakamura. But that's because that's what they told him to do. And if the choice is to go in there and work like a madman and get in trouble for working too hard, which is the insanity of pro wrestling at times, especially in that company, or be like back in New Japan, taking stiff kicks to the head in the G1. Meanwhile, he's here in the U.S., I guess likes it well enough, and apparently is a big fan of surfing. If he gets to do that and enjoy it, good. But the Nakamura in WWE is not the one from New Japan. I was there at WrestleMania 34 in New Orleans. What a disappointment. And that's actually the last WWE show I've been to. And if I never go again, never say never, but it's just, it wouldn't make me all that sad unless things change radically. Perhaps someday. Then you had a great women's match, Asuka and Bayley. And my buddy Gary, he and I had 2 tickets ringside, and he's been a wrestling fan for years and years as well. And we talked. He himself said, not a big fan of women's matches. I'm like, you don't understand. This is Asuka. This isn't like the divas out there, women that have been barely trained. It's not their fault that they're out there made to look stupid, because they've not been. These are models. These are not, some are athletes, but you get the idea. It's just, it was a different thing, and it was made for off-putting programming. At least for me it did. Where the women would get in trouble because their match was too good. That era stuff. Michelle McCool. Started like WrestleMania 26, 27, somewhere in there. But Asuka and Bayley, it was a great match. Asuka had the undefeated streak, and Bayley was the champion, so it was a title versus streak. And it meant something, and it was a very, very entertaining match. And they had to follow Nakamura and Zayn. But on the main roster, Bayley, oh my goodness. What they did with her. I mean, that's one of the easiest ways if you want to show somebody quickly a comparison between how the NXT side, developmental, can get something so right and then get brought to the main roster and destroyed. I said this before and I'll say it again. NXT, as wonderful it is, this is a realization. The main roster is where beloved NXT acts go to die. And not because they've run their course or whatever. There was a huge opportunity for Bayley, and they beat her like a geek in her hometown in San Jose. All the lead up to the match. It was her and it was Alexa Bliss. I was barely watching even the pay-per-views at that point with the network. And I had to watch in Spanish to not just go crazy. The commentary. I've been doing sports broadcasting a long time. And the way that those broadcasters are treated, that's not the way sports broadcasters are supposed to be treated. To be verbally abused in your headset all the time by the crazy old man. I know pro wrestling is its own weird thing and its own sub thing, but that's what they want. You get something like Vic Joseph, who was so good under his shoot name in House of Hardcore. One of the few standout things from the Flow Sports era was getting to hear him near the end of his run in House of Hardcore before he came into the WWE system. To me, he was the best sports style broadcaster this shot outside of WCW Jim Ross. But he was almost too good at it because he was on Raw for a few weeks and he started sounding like Michael Cole because that's what they were producing him to do, and then I guess they had a change of heart because they do that sometimes, and I don't know what's going to happen to him now. Even like Mauro Ranallo. I love Mauro. That guy is so talented. His stuff with New Japan on Access TV is some of my, I think, even all-time favorites. Some of it, just the stuff with him. And this is watching matches that were almost 2 years old. And himself and Josh Barnett able to breathe life into it. And it was just really something. And so I know what he can do, and it's just been disappointing in WWE how they make him use all those metaphors and the pop culture references just to the point of annoyance, and they produce him to do it that way. It's not like he's necessarily doing. When you've heard somebody do it on their own accord, to the point of being winning multiple years the Wrestling Observer newsletter best broadcaster, best announcer, TV announcer, however they word it now. They have it's all globbed together, color commentators and play-by-play guys for that award. So it went from that to now being almost like a parody of himself in NXT, but that's what they want. So you had Bayley, wasted. Asuka had that winning streak, and then they just pissed it away, threw it out the window, and had Charlotte beat her in New Orleans, and just threw away what could they. But they do that. Some of this stuff, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose or not. Because the idea is you would want to have a slow build, and this your babyface has to overcome the odds and finally brings down, the tough. But the case of it being if Asuka were the heel, and no, to me she's a total babyface, and if the Booker's anything else, it's just stupid. At least in my estimation. But Asuka, so they've at least she had the winning streak for a while, but they could do so much more with her if they wanted to, but they don't want to. And until that changes, and that's not going to change until Vince isn't in power anymore. The main event, though, Finn Balor and Samoa Joe. And, Finn with a start and stop pushes. And it's not been the same as Finn Balor in NXT, certainly, in Prince Devitt in New Japan before that. And Samoa Joe, that guy is so good at promos. He can almost get some of those garbage promos over. Because they try to make him use that weird cadence, but Joe is so good with his delivery that he kind of is able to punch through with that. And he'll be punished about that, and he'll disappear for a while, and they'll put him on commentary, and he's too good at that, and they'll take him off of commentary. It has to be so frustrating for those people, because they've got the talent, and they know they've got the talent. They don't need me to tell them. They can see it themselves. You don't get to that point, that being that good that long without. But when you are micromanaged to the point where you're not allowed to show it, maybe one or two, shine spots if you're trying to get the build back, and then you get laid out like a geek because Vince has his, tall guy of the week that he's fawning over. Just outright ruin the roster. Like Cedric Alexander, what are they doing with Cedric? I compare in Fire Promoter, which I played on this stream for a while. Cedric was a major player for me with AEW. So, perhaps real life can at one point mimic Fire Pro. Anyway, so that was that. I know I've been rambling for a while. There's more to be talked about on there. So it's the burying of Ricochet in Saudi Arabia. Now, I haven't seen that match. I read about it in the Observer. I know what happened. To me, it's rewarding bad behavior. Even if I had a free way to watch it, no. Even if the matches were good and had a free way to watch, no. That's to me. When all these other companies were pulling out, this is before the pandemic, and nope, WWE just stuck in there, getting roasted. Absolutely called out on it, and rightly so. And then they take Ricochet there, but you knew that's what they were going to do with him. They weren't going to have him beat Lesnar. This wasn't going to be Eddie Guerrero beating Lesnar because things were different at that point. But anyway, let's go through this list on here if you put Mr. Sacco as far as the talent, the call-ups. I went through the ones that have been called up from the NXT show. The one they give the big push to and continue to push is, of course, Baron Corbin, because they hate us. On some level, it's like the contempt they have for their fans, for their audience, for people that have made them into the company they are. They just seem as a bunch of rubes falling for their, hokey nonsense, and they have a monopoly, and they can just, be all smug about it. Well, hey, we're drawing the fans, and how's your territory doing, or whatever. Well, glad you're feeling good, Hunter, because things have changed. See, but as far as the call-up, I'm sure it's super frustrating for Hunter. I'm not trying to pick on him. That guy, he's got to have the patience of Job. I mean, he managed to position himself in a way to finally win over the hardcore fans that hated him because of the years of using his manipulation and changing things for the worse of the product to protect himself as a character. That's politics and wrestling. But to win them back and be like the good cop, like, well, we're trying. Even to the guys, and like, what was that? Brody Lee, the former Luke Harper, told a story. I think it was on Talk Is Jericho, but somewhere he told a story about saying like, "What do you want? What can we do to get you to re-sign? I'd like to work in New Japan." And him claiming that Triple H told him, "Oh, maybe we can make that happen. We'll see." And of course, it didn't. It's like in The Wire with a politician, the Rainmaker, and I'm talking about Okada. Like, oh, we tried so hard, we just couldn't make it happen for you. Oh, look at this, we worked so hard, it got through. And it didn't necessarily have anything to do with that particular congressman had to do. They took the money. So, let's go through the list. Nikki Cross. Why they split off from Sanity, I don't know. I mean, it's Eric Young never got a fair shot. He was never going to, in all likelihood. But he's talented enough. He's good enough in the ring, and not. It's like the ultimate backhanded compliment. Like, he's a hell of a hand, which is Carney for he doesn't have much of a personality or gimmick or look, but he can work well in the ring and not stoop and not botch things. But Eric's more than that. I mean, he's wide range of what he can do, and it was like because I say it's like Vince doesn't watch this stuff because most of the time, from all indications, Vince doesn't watch this stuff. His own developmental that he's pumped untold millions into doesn't even watch. If this were run like any sort of sane company to be run, which it's not. Pro wrestling's not the same business, mind you, but even the worst of the worst managers that have any sort of developmental system will look at the video once at a time or talk to the people down there and say, okay, what do you got? How can we make this work on a larger scale? And that didn't happen. That's why you get things like War Machine coming in, being like the War Raiders. Okay, War Machine, maybe your copyright reasons or whatever. It was still, Hanson and Rowe. Good. Get to the main roster, and they've got to repackage them, rename them. I don't know who Ivar is. I don't know who the other. I know Rowe, I know Hanson. That's the sort of thing that is just has to be so frustrating for everybody there. But nobody wants to piss off the old man because you do that, and bad things happen. Like the infamous thing about the brass rings, the Steve Austin show, Stone Cold podcast they had with him on WWE Network with Vince McMahon, talking about just hearing that nonsense, trying to make sense of the senseless with him. But yes, they split Nikki Cross off for no good reason. And they bring her up, and they had the thing with her and Alexa. Again, this is like I would hear about on Observer Radio, I'd read about. I hope I didn't go off the air here. I've got a weird, my device needs to restart at some point. Okay. I was afraid my internet went out while I was here politicking and talking NXT call-ups gone wrong, which is most of them. Lars Sullivan, now that's a whole different thing. Because he made some comments and was involved in activity to not preclude himself running a successful career as a WWE superstar. And if he didn't expect it to come out, well, I don't know what to say. I've not seen all that much of him. I mean, he's big, which is why he's still on that roster. You know, just cut him. But, you know, and I know people make mistakes in life. I'm certainly not perfect. I make plenty of mistakes. I still make plenty of mistakes on a daily basis. It happens. But, you know, you can't wind the clock back, but there were problems beyond that with him as well. As far as like the whole thing where he had, I guess, a panic attack of some sort, allegedly. This is one case where I can understand WWE not wanting to talk about that because there are HIPAA laws involved and, you know, privacy. Which I'm old enough, when I got in the TV news business in 97, there was no HIPAA. You go to a hospital, get somebody's condition very easily. And then, like, I had 2 stints in that business. And between run number 1 and run number 2, the HIPAA laws came in. It became a lot more difficult. Because stable is not a condition, it's a description of a condition. Anyway, so Lars Sullivan, again, he's a big guy, but is he a good worker? I've not seen or heard of any matches of his that are must-see. And being a subpar worker, even on the main roster, that's just not going to work for you. Not anymore. Of course, I say that, and they've got the tall guys out there that get the push all the time because that's what Vince sees as a star. And there are some great tall wrestlers. Of course, but then they get somebody like Donovan Dijak, and they just ruin him. I guess they didn't wait for the main roster there, you know, Dominic Dijakovic or whatever. Make his name harder to say. Overproduce him, overproduce Keith Lee. And they had, you know, they've had him wrestle over and over in NXT, I guess. And I have seen some of that, you know, some clips, but again, everybody has to work that same style. Everybody has to talk that same way. The characters all sound the same because they're all written for the audience of one. You're not writing for Apollo Crews / Uhaa Nation. You're not writing for Drew McIntyre. You're not writing for Baron Corbin. You're writing for the old man. It all goes through him and kind of filters back out. And for however many women writers they have or haven't had on the roster there, the dialogue they have for women, and it's like I'm some sort of expert to be able to, you know, pin what exactly, you know, women will speak about on a given time, but I know it when I hear it. And it just, I mean, it makes an already stilted sounding, you know, bad product even worse when it's almost like that. It's like how Vince Russo never seemed to be able to understand how women actually speak or think and just look at them in the most base of terms. I love a gorgeous woman, don't get me wrong. But this wasn't like, hey, she's a gorgeous woman. It's like, hey, she's a tramp. It was like, it was almost like it inevitably would fall to that, you know, as if, you know, presenting women as like, as opposed to the great athletes, and how hard to get to work as I mean, it's hard enough to get in the business as it is, but it's not like, especially in the earlier days, you know, with women's wrestling becoming more prevalent, there were a whole lot of spots or places to learn. And there are enough stories about Fabulous Moolah. There's a reason that she got her name taken off that women's battle royal at WrestleMania. But yeah, but ultimately, Lars Sullivan got injured. He's out injured, so they might bring him back, but I don't know what they're going to do with him. Because there's going to be, that heat's not going to go away. It's not like you're going to be, they will just forget after a while. I mean, and if they do forget, there'll be plenty there to remind them. And you know, this is like, as much as WWE seems to want to be some sort of like a totalitarian government, an oppressive regime, almost like Orwell's 1984, which on their website, you know, will cut people out of packages if they're out of favor with the crazy old man. Heavy Machinery. I mean, they always got to do something stupid. They took their last names away, just because. And with Otis, I mean, there was actually a little bit of charm, and there's almost no charm to the modern WWE product. And again, not the people involved, not the wrestlers necessarily involved. In fact, I'm saying for most of them, it's not their fault. But there's no charm out of the creative side. And you have like the woman that wrote on Twitter about how she was let go when the whole cuts thing happened, but she was the one, I guess, was the main writer, creative force, influence, whatever. Not ultimately, Vince is the creative force, but the one who made sure that the Otis Mandy storyline actually felt like more than just the two-dimensional, oh, this is going to be the evil woman. Again, this is another, probably where Vince Russo learned some of that from Vince McMahon. But, you know, they made it look like this charming thing and all, and you know they're going to ruin it. And that's inevitable. They ruin everything, especially when it comes to that. And meanwhile, you got Tucker, who's, I've seen him wrestle. He's perfectly capable. He's got the size. Maybe not, you know, super tall, but, I mean, that's a big tag team. Power guys, but not, like, plotting either. And, you know, Otis, I guess he won Money in the Bank. I mean, I had no desire to watch the replay or any clips and all of that. Just, I mean, to me, WWE lost the opportunity from now until the end of time to do any sort of angle or storyline of somebody being thrown to their death after their negligence led to the death of Owen Hart. Was putting that stupid blue blazer retread gimmick because he wouldn't do some sort of infidelity angle with Deborah McMichael and Jeff Jarrett. And I know it wasn't a willful murder or anything like that, but that happened on their watch. So what do they do with the Money in the Bank on the roof? And I guess it had like a splat effect, as if you heard them hitting. Just the lowest of taste. It's like, no wonder people hate this company so much. You hire all these wonderful wrestlers we come to love from around the world. You force them to talk like freaking robots. Unnatural cadences. Because God forbid they're able to take that absolute dribble they're forced to recite most of the time giving this awful dialogue that makes no sense and has no continuity from one thought to the next in many cases. You know, it's like, no wonder, I mean, it's not, if you don't like it, don't watch. Well, quit stealing the talent I like. Quit taking people and making them into just shells of what they were. Because the brand has to be the star. And they never want another John Cena. If what Ryback said is true, quoting Triple H, and I've seen nothing to make me think otherwise. No, it's easy to get frustrated looking at it that way. To me, I'm like, well, you know, there's WWE and people watch it, and it's not for me. But, you know, there's AEW, there's New Japan Pro Wrestling, there's All Japan Pro Wrestling, there's AAA. If I want to see some unique to AAA elements, I will forgive more from AAA than a lot of other promotions because it's part of the zaniness and it's almost like sloppiness to the point of just being madness. And then this is something spectacular because, you know, high-end spectacular lucha libre can be just absolutely breathtaking. You know, it's just, so AAA, you get a lot of mix of things. So there's a lot to enjoy. I can watch every great match from All Japan Pro Wrestling in the 90s if I want to. So I don't have to watch this, you know, product they're putting out there just so they can fulfill their television contracts and try and keep the ratings high enough to not get ripped off the air. Okay, so with that, I think I've discussed the topic long enough. We'll go for one more. Talk myself out of more than that. I think it's the fourth of the night. I was planning a 20-minute sidebar, whatever it was, about a squandered talent by WWE. It was Madison Square Garden. There's the chapstick vanilla mint. They stopped making it. My favorite flavor, and look, the worst problem I've got to deal with is my favorite flavor of chapstick being discontinued. I'll be okay, you know? There are worse problems to have in life. And luckily, because you can't find that stuff, even when it's around, you can't find it in stores easily. I'd buy it online on eBay. So I've still got like half a box because they last for a while. It's the nice thing with chapsticks, not just every day you got to replace it, but at some point I'm going to run out and then the party will be over and have to find something else. So, but I designed this like right before I found that news out too. So, well, such is life. Let's see, I've got a yeah, it's a green mat that I've got here for this chapstick themed ring. Some of these refs I don't use very often because they count too fast. Look at Chad Pat. Or they'll count fine on a pin attempt, but outside the ring, you think they're trying to count to 20 as fast as they humanly could. To me, that doesn't add to the product at all. And you can't edit the referees. It just drives me crazy. But in what world does it make sense for somebody named Biff Busick to be renamed Oni Lorcan? What a rib! I mean, if you can make up like 5 other fake names and put that one on there, you can say, okay, out of the 6, which of the ones is the real name that somebody has? Who's picking Oni Lorcan? Come on, quit fooling yourself. He's a good wrestler too. I mean, if you had to change something, couldn't like be Biff Lorcan? Why Oni? You can't get past the first name. At least if it's like money, it'd be like a word you could remember. I'm not saying Money Lorcan would be all that much better, but they like Punishment Martinez. Maybe there were reasons that they had without having Punishment as a trademark name. They gotta change everything. I'm more mad about Ring of Honor burning a loss from Ishii in New Orleans at that Supercard show I went to and regretted going to. Well, I think the last time I ever regretted not going to that over WWE or NXT show, because they had that NXT New Orleans show had 2 5-star matches on it. I went to the other one. I got to see Ibushi and Ishii and those guys again. And then they had Ishii losing less than 10 minutes to Punishment Martinez and his expiring contract. Freaking Ring of Honor. Anyway. You know what? I'll be James Ellsworth. That's where they try to give him some more personality when they had him with Carmella as a comedy setup. But again, comedy made for Vince McMahon. Although once the Ellsworth almost injured himself, ironically trying to tuck his chin on the Styles clash, and Styles was able to avoid hurting him at the last second. After that, they were a lot more careful about how much they had him do in the ring. I mean, he was right place, right time as far as when they were bringing enhancement talent. And, tried to make the most of it. He had his run, and I think he's based out of Maryland. Is that right? I think he has a school there. The promotion there he works with a lot. So, although I haven't heard much or seen much for him lately, so I don't know. Okay, Don Muraco. The space bar and see what options are sent my way. We'll give him the blonde streak in his hair. Early incarnation with the rare white gear. Shamrock the other day. I like Tony Nesta. I'm not going for that. Aiden English. Perfect example of WWE intentionally undermining somebody because they got over too much. They stuck Aiden English with Rusev. And Rusev becomes like the king of getting over beyond what they wanted and then being punished for it. So Aiden was getting over doing the singing thing. They had the Rusev day. But they got over beyond their slotting in the company. They got cheered more than WWE wanted them to be cheered. By using it was WWE's creative and their own television that made this happen. You'd think they would want to ride that up, say, okay, hey, look, we made a star. So that can be at least a nice supporting player. Nope, not the way it played out. But that should not surprise you by now. It's a little bit too close to Seth Rollins there with the Xavier Woods white and yellow, like gold. It's more the New Day look there. Typing here in chat, so stand by. And what I wrote, because when this shows up later on YouTube, it'll just be the video recorded locally. It won't have the chat involved. This is no worries. I addressed them all after the match. I mean, the last match that I played. Just awful by WWE botching the call-ups. The thing with Vince McMahon is he tends to thrive best when he feels he's being challenged. I guess that's a positive for somebody with such deep insecurity. It's like his ego is challenged. You know, it's like overdo it, and that's why nothing is subtle in that company. They just don't do subtle. And there's one person who's the reason why. It's the guy in charge. Hey, Mr. Sucker. Yeah, it was. I mean, to me, and like Velveteen Dream, I just ran across it. I'll probably pick it here in a second to play. Not to play as, but have him in the next match. You know when he goes to the main roster, it's not going to work. Because, I mean, maybe I'll be wrong. I hope he proves me wrong. But I can see Vince not, quote-unquote, getting him. And that's before whatever the latest social media controversy was that I don't know much about and don't really care that much about. Let's see, so 2 more. What's with Honma? How many used to have? Tomoaki Honma. That guy, I was afraid he was going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. He got injured taking a DDT on a house show. It wasn't even like one that was on New Japan World, so there's no video of it out there. It's all those Kokeshis delivered on off the top rope to the floor sometimes. And, a simple apron DDT, or draping DDT onto the apron, or whatever it was. Draping DDT that caused him to suffer paralysis, and he was able to, after spending a long time, in the hospital, able to come back. And he's nowhere near what he used to be. He can't do what he used to because it'd be dangerous for him to. It's kind of, it's. But I will take that if this was the motivation he needed to get from paralyzed in the hospital bed to, and he still looks it for the most part. I mean, he's not quite the muscle mass he had, but the guy was paralyzed. He's older than I am, and I'll turn 43 later this year. Oh yeah, so Ricochet, I've seen Ricochet in person. I saw him and Will Ospreay in Dallas 4 years ago. And they had great matches all around the world too. But that match in Dallas was one of them. It wasn't necessarily the best because they had an amazing match in Dublin. The Tokyo match is one that people will remember, and of course others elsewhere. And then you get to the main roster, and I guess they messed with his theme music. They added some weird sound effects. I guess they do it to a lot of people. That's how little I watch. I just hear about it, and that's one thing I don't actually hear is the theme music. I would love to be able to turn on and watch it and say, I love this product, and it's something that's different than what I might like the best, but I still enjoy it. But that's not the case. And I should. Like, if you were to tell me, go back 3 years, however year, and say, okay, Lou, not only these guys can be in there, but most of them will be able to use the names they're currently using now. We're going to have Kushida in there. As Kushida, you get Matt Riddle, Ricochet, and start naming them off. Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish. It will be Red Dragon. They can't use that name, but that's okay. That name is a tag team name. They've got a better one now with UE. Adam Cole is Adam Cole. It doesn't have to be, some ridiculous Oni Lorcan sounding name. And to have Mauro Ranallo, who was so great when allowed to do his own thing and not overproduced or produced at all, really. He can produce it himself, like he does with his MMA and what he did with New Japan on Access. And they turn him into this, parody of himself as this metaphor machine and pop culture references and Mamma Mia this and that, which are good, a well-placed Mamma Mia. That's kind of his go-to phrase. I can deal with that, but it makes me mad because I know they're making him do it that way. And it's worse because of it. And they know it's worse because of it. That's why somebody like me will cheer against a company like that, even though that would be hurting, would actually hurt the overall view of the business worldwide because somebody will correlate the two. But yeah, with Ciampa and Gargano, I think that really hurt NXT as far as that was the one place in that crazy, bizarre company that Vince wasn't able to really infiltrate. And then they got treated just like Ohio Valley Wrestling got treated when Jim Cornette was there, running out of Ohio, in his promotion in Louisville, running developmental. We're just on a whim. If they want somebody, they'll bring them up. Want them to shave their head? No, you can't do a 3-week build to have a hair versus hair match. We're just going to have them shave their head today. Whatever. Because they don't care. Look back at all the companies that went into business with WWE and later died. All the wrestling promotions. Smoky Mountain. I mean, they own WCW by the, even when they own the other companies, they botched what should have been a can't-miss multi-million-dollar opportunity because of the ego of the crazy old man that has run that company on the ground with his horrible creative. So Aleister Black, I mentioned this in the last video, super nice guy when I met him. He was Tommy End. It's just, then they put him I guess he's, again, because I don't watch this stuff, I read about it and hear about it. But I guess they had it's like people were knocking on his door or something. That was his wacky thing they gave him. As opposed to saying, hey, Aleister Black, you're a very, very good wrestler. Go out there and do your thing. People will like you. It'll work. They don't let that happen, though. And it's just, I would actually probably be happier about it if it was just Vince being completely out to lunch. Enough of this is done willfully. It's done by design. The sheer audacity of a company to operate like that. A publicly traded company. And the rubes that are telling people what to do with the stock. I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to give investment advice. The one time I invested, I made some money. The one I opened an account for $100 into 10 different stocks. The one industry I knew, radio, I put money in Citadel Broadcasting and lost a bunch of it. But luckily I sold it because they were going bankrupt. I would have had 0.0 of it. Cut your losses. I made money on these other companies I didn't understand as well. Point being, the stock market make no sense. But I know that the thought is there that if they don't have Vince there, that things can be just awful if they're going to have problems. And, well, there will be a power struggle whenever Vince is gone, unless he outlives everyone. Which maybe he will. I don't know. Not what his company will. And that's just killing the young end of that demo. And that's the long-term ramifications for them. And it's going to snowball because this stuff comes in on a delay almost. Viewing patterns can take a long time to change. People have been watching on Monday nights for years and years and years and years and years. And that's part of what they do. People are creatures of habit. And that's why NBC Universal pays more than $5 million every week for the U.S. rights to broadcast Raw. 3 hours. What's often just garbage. And not because of the people involved. Because of the people that, are telling them what to do. The people pulling the strings. Not the wrestler's fault. Because if you're told to go out there and work that slow style, the referee, they got an earpiece and tell the referee to tell you what to do. And change things. This happens all the time during a match. It's overproduced to the point where you have very little you can actually control. And it has to be so infuriating. They can't say any of this. That's why they get all mad and, can't make a logical argument on Twitter when they make the very foolish decision trying to to argue against fans that are pointing out just the Emperor has no clothes thing with Vince McMahon, and nobody in the business wants to piss them off, so they're not going to say it. You can't defend the indefensible, though. But yeah, the thing is, though, if I were those guys, if you were in NXT, now granted, I'm sure the money is much better on the main roster, but then you're paying your own road expenses at that point. There's a give and a take, and then you're having to deal with the main roster madness. go back and listen to what John Moxley said on Talking Jericho about the creative process in that company. You got all these different meetings and people, and nobody wants to say anything definitive because Vince refuses to delegate. He's the one that makes all these decisions. And while there is something to be said about somebody that pays close attention to everything, that keeps everybody honest. Make sure, quality control's there. But that's not what we got. This isn't quality control. If anything, to control the quality, make sure it's not better than, they want it to be. Just because they want their brand to be a star and don't want people to get emotionally involved and attached with the actual people. That's what makes money. Oh, no. Oh, I was making an emphatic point and put the controller down, and I think it started the match. Well, I guess be a sneak peek at the arena to see if I need to fix anything on that. Game got tired of me yapping on there. Say, come on, wrap it up. Okay, that'll work. Just to add the 8th wrestler. I guess I don't have to. I could go with 7, but why? But I mean, you look at who they've called up, and it's just. I'm happy that Drew McIntyre is able to get the chance to, basically a second chance for his first run with the company. But if he weren't 6'5", if he was 5'10", all other things being equal, come on. He's out there doing wacky comedy with Heath Slater and then getting fired in the middle of the pandemic. And I hate it for him, though, that he's a big win at WrestleMania, and it's in an empty building. I don't know if I put Andre in one of these yet. I keep thinking to, but I was like, oh no, I didn't. That was just a few episodes ago. But I'm pretty sure I've done with The Fiend. As much as I dislike Bray Wyatt as a wrestler, he's a creative guy, I'm sure. And again, his creativity is probably much better before it has to be through the tilted prism of Vince McMahon. But his matches, look, that guy gets such a pass as far as his garbage match quality. I had to endure WrestleMania 33, Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton, and that match where they had the display on the ring of worms or whatever. It's like, oh my God, how much money did I pay to come down here and to sit out here, wait in line, pay exorbitant amounts of money for food or a park, and then I get this nonsense in a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. They don't want to call their world title anymore because they're crazy like that, and not in a good kind of crazy at all. But what I'm saying here isn't some sort of secret insight. Everybody in the company, for the most part, I'm sure realizes it. There's just so many weird. Pro wrestling's weird to begin with because of its carny history and a lot of other reasons, but with WWE, it's an entirely different level from every indication I've ever had. But anything improv, nothing spontaneous. They want you to do exactly what they want you to do, and that's it. As opposed to, let's see how we can entertain the fans from this great product, compelling feuds, promos that make you want to go to the building and see these matches, or order the pay-per-views, or watch Raw, or whatever. That's how the business has always worked, and people have made money at it. The reason it's worked for so long, this weird way they do it in WWE, is because they had this monopoly. And Vince wants to tell you this story about his phony politician story about, I came from humble beginnings and built my way up. Whereas in reality, Vince's dad, it's like he joined the game, playing the board game Risk. And he joined for his dad midway through, and his dad had the entire key areas just locked down. Easy to win when you start number one. No, Vince did a lot, don't get me wrong, but don't believe the whole self-made man talk. That's an absolute lie, in my opinion. I have the weird version of Marty Jannetty from his brief run in circa 96, 97 WCW. too bad Marty had his demons. He's still alive from in the past, like when he was the Wall brother. Because when he was on, he could go. Obviously, working with Shawn Michaels helped a lot, but it wasn't just that. You know, he had some good matches with other people, but enough things go wrong, or you fall asleep when you shouldn't be falling asleep, and they know why, or whatever else happened with them. And, too much of a liability. And Bobby Jaggers. With Lance Storm. Okay, so the last match of the night for this episode 6 of Lou Plays Fire Pro Wrestling World. It'll be me, Lou Pickney, playing as James Ellsworth, facing Don Muraco, Seth Rollins, Aiden English, Xavier Woods, Velveteen Dream, Tomoaki Honma, and Lance Storm. Referee Chad Patton, the venue, Madison Square Garden, and the ring design, Chapstick Vanilla Mint. Here we go. This thing takes its sweet time to load. Hope Honma doesn't pin me like 5 seconds just to type in the chat. You know what? I've used this Ellsworth character in sim matches. I don't know if you played this, so this will be a challenge. If I could have been on level 8, still had trouble with this. We'll see. It's the stick and move. Jawbreaker on Lance Storm by Aiden English. Don Muraco. The headbutt to the balls on Velveteen Dream. That's what it was. Call it like I see it. Like, much like Jesse Ventura. It's funny with my broadcasting. I don't even realize it half the time when I'm doing it. I only go back and listen later. I'm broadcasting for 25 plus years. You get better, always improve. And especially when I do color commentary though, as far as if I thought the refs made a poor call, whatever, give me some Jesse Ventura, are you kidding me? I'm not trying to do an impression, I'm even trying to, but oh, it's not like Jesse. I like doing like the Fink who just passed away, Howard Finkel. Like if the referee makes there's a late flag for pass interference for holding, there's a flag on the play. Like he's talking about Harvey Whippleman or something. Ellsworth knocks Muraco out of the ring, tries to go after Velveteen Dream in that right corner, but knocked away. On the double suplex to the outside. Ellsworth going from one wrestler to the next and just taking a beating, not able to lay much offense. Can't even do a springboard or a plancha-like move to bring myself into the ring. Nice punching radius. Sell that, and then Ellsworth throws no less than Don Muraco down to the floor. Headbutt by Ellsworth on Aiden English. Aiden English. Rude Awakening style neckbreaker. And Seth Rollins. Now, what's the new name they got for him? It's like the Monday Night Messiah or something? Sounds like a bad CM Punk knockoff. I think Rollins is an actual wrestler. Super talented. Especially so when before he got hurt. That knee injury. I don't think he's actually been the same since then. I think he has to be. Especially they don't want him to, do too much or whatever as far as Although he was one of the few that actually had, mostly because he came up with Roman in the Shield. I mean, he's one of the few that actually gives some protection to him. Not as much as you might think, though, with some of the undermining that's happened. Aiden English, Tomoaki Honma team up. Suplex Don Muraco. Back elbows from Honma to Ellsworth. Swinging neck breaker by Woods. From Honma. Seth Rollins, a drop kick on the button. Taking out Lance Storm off the top rope. Kind of awkward looking there by Xavier Woods, but he's able to knock down Muraco. Now swinging neck breaker on Ellsworth by Xavier. Looks like a Scorpion Death Drop there from Seth Rollins on Lance Storm. Ellsworth rolls Storm off the apron and down to the floor. Suit count. There's referee Chad Patton. Sit for the ride. Trying to do an arm drag or whatever the circle button is to catch somebody off the ropes for this Ellsworth Crater Wrestler. It didn't work. So I just go punch Seth Rollins in the face a good 10-12 times. Big shoulder breaker there by Muraco on Velveteen Dream. 2.9. Just past the 10-minute mark of the match. German suplex by Honda for the bridge. Ellsworth breaks it up at 2. Side headlock on Woods by Aiden English. Rollins and Xavier Woods collide. Super kick by Seth Rollins. Big lariat. 2.9. Stuff all over the place going on. Vertical suplex on Xavier Woods by Lance Storm as Ellsworth just unloads with punches. It's on Muraco. Shoulder breaker. Muraco with a shoulder breaker on Velveteen Dream with the cover. So Velveteen Dream is eliminated the first out. This stupid spot. I really dislike that being in the game. The whole, it's Eddie Guerrero, like, he's got a share, feigning that he's against you. When it's used as a spot in a match and it's designed that way, it's one thing, but it actually gets disqualified playing this doing that? Come on. Come on, Fire Pro, you're better than that. Although it's not the game's fault, right? Whoever designed that particular Crater Wrestler set it up. Off the top rope, shades of Randy Savage with an elbow drop, and somehow Xavier Woods, despite falling right next to Honda, missed him with it. Ellsworth tries to take down Rollins kicks him off. Muraco gets super kicked by Lance Storm. Ellsworth just jumps on top, but not even a 1 count, of course, broken up by Seth Rollins. Honda, several punches to the face in a row by Aiden English. And now punches for Honda from Ellsworth. Referee Chad Patton asking if he's ready to give it up to continuous punches to the face to submit to it. Honda said no. Super kick by Lance Storm. Everybody's trying to break out that pinfall. 2.9. Aiden English nearly gets the pin. Xavier Woods. 1, 2, 3. And Honma has just pinned Seth Rollins. Kokeshi is happy. 2.9 count. Body slam on Ellsworth by Honma. And a knee to the face on Ellsworth by Aiden English in a cover. 2 counts. That backslide had no chance with Patton over there trying to count the first pinfall attempt. I felt when I see myself going for a pin in this particular setup, this kind of game, and somebody else get a pin counted, better off just letting it go and getting away, because you're not getting a 3 count. You're probably going to get cheap shot from behind if you don't get the right kick out before the referee gets there. Spike pile driver. Aiden English. And Xavier Woods with a spike pile driver. Dangerous move. One with this history of that severe neck injury. And again, top rope, Randy Savage style. Those elbow drops, one after another. Honma able to regain some control. Trio low for Xavier Woods. Honma having some trouble striking after that first one hit. Like a Stuka Jr. type move there by Ellsworth. Connected though. And Ellsworth rolls English out of the ring. Lance starts to this blue corner on the near side. Three kick combo. Look out for Ellsworth. Bronco Buster. Ellsworth. Very disrespectful to Lance Storm with the Bronco Buster. Now Storm's going to take out his frustration over being embarrassed by sending Don Muraco's head repeatedly into that top turnbuckle. Chops thrown by Honma and Xavier Woods. There's Aiden English taken down. Honma, look at the power. The power of Don Muraco. Pressing up into the air. Lance Storm taking him down. Belly to back suplex by Honma on Ellsworth. Folds him over. Ellsworth on Dream Street. Uzugiri. Nice Uzugiri there by Xavier Woods. Oh, chair spot. Let me not hit the circle button and up and playing his Ellsworth. Oh, let's get that nonsense. It's even there's no DQ match. Again, the power of Don Muraco. Muraco didn't care for me trying to interfere. Critical. Tomoaki Honma has been eliminated. Knocked out. The writing was on the wall for Honma once he took that spike pile driver. He's already bad neck. Uppercut by Ellsworth. Drops Muraco. Impressive. The massive Don Muraco pinned by James Ellsworth. We're down to 4. Aiden English in the maroon. Lance Storm in the red trunks. Xavier Woods in the teal, and then James Ellsworth in the black trunks. X-Factor type move there by Aiden English. And Xavier Woods for the ride, back off the ropes, and they collide. English got distracted by Ellsworth, didn't see Woods on the return. English takes down Lance Storm. Big splash by Ellsworth on Storm. Oh, Lance Storm, how embarrassing. Ellsworth gasping for air. Down to 3. Aiden English, Xavier Woods, and James Ellsworth. Elbows one after another by Aiden English. Using Xavier Woods' body as a weapon, whipping him into Ellsworth. It looked like Aiden English was setting up for some sort of a cutter or drop down type move on Ellsworth before Woods made the save. Body slam on Ellsworth by Xavier Woods. Aiden English off the ropes to the clothesline. English going to pose. Now slowly run in there, not get there until after he's rolled up posing. English looking to the corner. And a spinning sit out powerbomb by Aiden English. Xavier Woods has been eliminated. We're down to 2. James Ellsworth and Aiden English. There we go. Picked him up and spun him around with Aiden English to an exhausted James Ellsworth. There's a roll-up. No rope breaks in this match. Just to do it. No. 2 count. Ellsworth keeps himself alive. If he can get it 2. In the corner. It's a tough one here with Ellsworth. His moves have been reversed rather easily. He's very slow running. I'm going to do one of these now, but I hope they don't have it reversed. And instead it's reversed from an MMA style side choke. Come on. Bailey Sting there. Struck in 1988. That Rude Awakening style reverse neckbreaker by Aiden English. On a wobbly James Ellsworth. Ellsworth went for the punch, but Hayden saw it. Struck first. Oh, that's pathetic. Come on. Okay. Ellsworth blow up. He make the cover. Well, this be it. He got him. Wow. Not the most exciting finish you'll ever see. But tell that to James Ellsworth. I mean, he's the one that just lost. Completely just gasping for air. He was into more than 27 minutes. All right, enough of that. So with pinfall, James Ellsworth gets the final fall of the match and the one that ultimately matters because he's the one that wins. Velveteen Dream, Seth Rollins, Honma, Muraco, Lance Storm, Xavier Woods, Aiden English out. Your winner, James Ellsworth. All right, so that was it for episode 8 of Lou Pickney Plays Fire Pro Wrestling World. Had a long diatribe about modern day WWE and all the things that company does to undermine its own talent, how frustrating that is. And that's for me as a fan outside the company. I can only imagine how much it is for the people that are both the in-ring performers risking themselves. It's so dangerous being a pro wrestler. It just, and people think it's because it's predetermined finishes and it's a work that it's somehow not dangerous. I mean, people are just taking bumps is bad enough. Along the travel and everything else. So tomorrow, or later today, I guess it's past 3 a.m. Nashville time at this point, but at some point tomorrow, probably later afternoon into early evening Nashville time, Central Daylight Time, chiropractor appointment. Talking about guys with a bad neck. I've been dealing with muscle spasms and migraines caused from issues with my neck for more than 20 years. Not fun. When people tell you they have a migraine, don't laugh it off. They go, a headache, haha. No. It is the type of pain. I don't think you can understand it unless you felt it. You do not want to feel it. An inescapable throbbing, just like every like pulse. You feel it like in your head. It's just this inescapable, horrible pain. And thank goodness there's Imitrex, which is my rescue medication to go to. Because that's what the only one that ever worked for me. You deal with migraines, you go through about an endless test. They try to figure out one thing after another. Point being, and that's for me just playing, football for a few years and just having neck issues that maybe unrelated to anything in particular, just bad luck. But even if you're the one just delivering the hits most of the time, it's the human body is not made to bump like that over and over and over for years and years on that hard surface. I mean, people might think it's a trampoline or something looking at it, but those are like plywood boards usually under there, and then a thin bit of padding and a mat. But I mean, you're not taking a backdrop into like a bunch of lumber at a construction site or something. It's not going to feel good. And it's not like it's that much further away from it. Especially those older mats, like WWF 80s mats, those little like boxing mats. They're described like concrete. Might be falling like on the ground at your house, only without any carpet there. Just not fun. To be a pro wrestler, you gotta be tough. That is for sure. As always, this is fun. So I was getting to that sidebar there with the chiropractor. Super Mega Baseball 3 comes out later today. And I'm thrilled to get to play it. I love Super Mega Baseball 1, love Super Mega Baseball 2, and they've improved in a lot of areas that really were secondary. I enjoyed the game as it was, but they came up with a new one. I'm glad they put all this into it. They finally got franchise mode and some other elements I think will add a lot of fun to the game. So if you see me streaming that, it's not like I got taken over, had a format flip. I mean, it's the Fire Pros my bread and butter with this. Maybe some Total Extreme Wrestling, TEW 2020, which is going to come out soon. The beta's out for that. I can't get that to work properly right now with my streaming. I'm sure it's something I'm doing, I'm sure. But anyway, so if you see baseball on here tomorrow, that's why. And you can come here and chat. I'll talk bad about WWE there as well. That's fine. We'll talk regular baseball, though. There's not baseball season right now to follow. Okay, so that's it for episode 8. And even though I do play some Super Mega Baseball 3 later tomorrow, today, all runs together. My voice starts to give and my words start to slam together. Don't worry, I'll be more Fire Pro back soon. And so that's it for now. Thanks for watching as always. Luke Plays Fire Pro Wrestling World, Episode 8. This live stream here on Twitch. Catch you next time. Thanks for watching.